And welcome, everyone. Welcome to Geek Space TV presents Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble, a bully pulpit games by Jason Morningstar about brave Soviet airwomen in World War II bombing Nazis, based on a real all-women's air unit, the 588th Night Bombing Air Regiment. So welcome in, everyone. It is nice to see you all. Hi. Hey everyone! Geek Space TV is a non-profit studio, streaming studio out of Seattle, based out of Seattle, although we are all over the place right now for this show. And it takes as its mission to increase diversity and representation in gaming and geek spaces. And we do that through all of our amazing shows on Twitch. We also have a wonderful Discord, which I encourage you all to join, because everyone hangs out there and chats and posts things like things people have drawn. Nice stuff. It's very good. We also have a Twitter, which you can follow if you like. I think we also have an Instagram. I am assuming that mods are posting these things in chat, so I'm not just saying things randomly, but that links are happening. That is my hope. What else do I want to tell you? Oh, yes, you can support us in a variety of ways. So first off, the thing you can do is the most important thing you can do is you can be here. You can watch our shows and hang out and chat with us and just be part of the community. That's the number one thing you can do. After that, if you would like, you can hit the share button, which I think is over there, to let people know that we're live. You can tweet out that we are live. You can tell all of your friends and say, hey, come over there to Geek Space, watch their stuff, do the greatness. I recommend it. If you want to do other things, you can also support us financially in a number of ways. You can give us bits or tips. And tips, we read out the message from tips at the break. You can also subscribe to our Patreon, which helps us pay for the lights and the rent and the show and all of that. You can also donate. We have a donate goal, which I believe is up there, over there. And those funds help pay for cast and the cost of shows and everyone else. And we are finishing up this season. We have about another month or so, and then we'll do another fundraising drive, just like PBS in the day, for our next series of shows, which should be a number of really amazing things. We're talking about an Expanse show, also for what would be like a spiritual successor to the Night Witches, a French resistance show, a Shadowrun show hosted by, GM'd by Random Tuesday. So there's a lot coming as well. So it's all very exciting. But next week, let me just tell you what we're doing. Next week, we have Inklings, which is the last Inklings for a bit of time, and that's hosted by Sour Fruit Junkie, and it's a drawing show. Sour Fruit Junkie is an amazing artist who draws and gives us tips, and a bunch of us hang out and just actually draw along with, and that's been a wonderful art community. On Wednesday at 5 p.m., all of this is, the Monday show is at 4 p.m. Pacific. On Wednesday at 5 p.m., we have Wind Down, where our CEO, Anna Geeks, also known as Sergeant Veronica Cordina, tells you about the state of the studio. And at 7 p.m. Pacific, we have the amazing Worlds Beyond, GM'd by Random Tuesday. So that is, and then of course Saturday, more Night Witches. So come and just watch our shows. That's what we've got going on. Oh, I was supposed to remind you all, guess what, everyone? We have new emotes. We are affiliated, and now Twitch is giving affiliates more emotes, which means there's going to be something pretty awesome. We don't know what it is yet.
We don't have them yet. I got excited and I was like, what?
Oh, we don't have them yet?
No, I mean, they're not, you didn't add them yet. I don't see new.
No, they're not there yet, but we're going to have one, and it's going to be good. And it'll, I don't know what it will be yet, but note, Diabolical Masterminds are working on new emotes, so that will happen.
They're in the lab behind Shell. You just don't see them.
That is correct.
It's a very secret safe.
It's like a group of gnomes that are all there just working.
Very diabolical, obvious.
And also super short. They're like only this big. That's why you can't see them.
But their hats are like
the
3
same
times
size.
the size of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm so happy that this is the first time we have the OG cast all back together again in a while. And so I would love for them all to introduce themselves, to tell us who they are and where we can find them. But also, since I actually just already ran the credits, we're just gonna then go right into it. I don't know what I was doing. So introduce who you are, where we can find you, and then introduce your character. And let's start with Mac.
Hey guys, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me on the internets as @strangelikeThat, or just feel the breathing on the back of your neck when you think you're alone in the room. And you can also find me over at Happy Jacks, where I play a lot of tabletop. I've got a Star Trek game over there and a D&D game that I'm a part of. That's on Mondays on Twitch. And I am playing Nikita Nick Volkova. I missed last episode, so I'll be curious to see what happened, because I'm sure there'll be no drama. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
No drama at all. Tell us about your character. What does she look like? Tell me something about her.
It's the pressure. So she's got sort of a roguish appearance, and she's got short auburn hair and a face full of freckles, and kind of usually has sort of a cocky appearance to her, but lately it's been a little bit more morose.
Let's follow on up with Maggie Crone down over here.
Hi. I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places, as it says right there down below. I do a lot of tabletop RPGs. In fact, I've been up since 6:30 in the morning for the first one. So yeah, I might have a problem. It's fine. I'm fine. I play Irina Ullberg, who is a Swedish young lady who is the youngest of 7 children. So she's a little spoiled. She's loud, she's boisterous, and she's blunt. Very, very blunt. She has short, frizzy brown hair, pretty much exactly what I have right now. She's more of a tomboy, and like sometimes people mistake her for a man as well, because she's like so tall and bulky. She's kind of like more muscular build. And she kind of her uniform's really unkept, and she doesn't really look like she has it all together necessarily. And even when she's trying to be like super serious, you can see like the spark in her little blue eyes that she's plotting something. Probably not up to any good.
And she's got a mean left hook, is what I hear.
Yeah, she can give you a good punch if you're interested. Like punch, you know.
And some nice dance lifts from what I hear.
Yes,
she can
also
lift things. Let's put it that way. There's lifting. The footwork was not good. There might have been stepping on toes. It's fine.
The art of the dance.
Lost by Irina.
Oh, she might have a boyfriend now. I don't know what's happening.
That's right. She has a boyfriend now, sort of.
I think it's true love.
I believe it was Andrei Kazanov is that was named by Chad, as a matter of fact. Not Casanova, because that's not the right declination. But Andrei Kazanov is her boyfriend. I don't think she realizes that she has a boyfriend, but you know, it happens.
She did not get the intention of what the young gentleman was asking her.
So Rocket Fox, please, over there, introduce yourself. What this way?
Yes, I am Rocket Fox, and I do all sorts of stuff: gaming, illustration, performance, storytelling. You can find me anywhere you look up Rocket Fox. Likely I will be there. Even some places where you don't look up Rocket Fox, I might be there too. I also am president of the board for Superheroines, etc. Our mission is to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. So you can look us up too at superheroinesetc.org or Facebook, all the places. And my character is Titania Petrova. She is now a lieutenant of this funky bunch. And she has just like short black like bob, really buttoned up, very military life, seems to suit her fairly well, and that she's, you know, her uniform is meticulous and all of this. But she is an only child, came from Leningrad, which is currently under siege, and there is some question from the powers that be, because her mother was an artist, and her father was a scientist, and maybe some eyeballs are looking at her.
And welcome back after a sojourn in other places. I think Shell Game was having a good time. Your character, less so. Shell Game, tell us who you are, where we can find you, and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Shell Game. You can find me here on Night Witches. You can also find me on Worlds Beyond. And if you're just wanting to check out where I'm at, what I'm up to, you can check me out on typically on Twitter. If I'm honest, I haven't done a whole lot on Twitch, even though you can find me on Twitch. I also haven't done a whole lot on Instagram, even though you can find me on Instagram. You know, life, it sometimes gets you. And you go, hey, I play Yelena, who goes by Lena. But, you know, something was mentioned in chat earlier, and I don't remember what Alexi's last name is. Does Alexi have a last name, Trooper?
He does, Popov.
Popov. So her name is now Yelena Popov.
Popova.
Popova.
Dun,
Oh,
dun.
man,
that
we need to
works.
update that too.
Yelena Popova. She's not doing so great. She used to be a sort of like frumpy, very excited and passionate about flying sort of person. Those of you who have been with the show for a while know that she bonded very closely with Lil Clipper, who was her plane. Number 42, her and Lil Clipper, real tight.
They're in love.
They're in love. I mean, she has two loves, though. She was also very close to Mel, which was the reason why she had to go away to the hospital. Somebody had to admit that there had been a rumor going around, but there's a lavender woman, and someone had to admit it. So Lena is just now coming back from the hospital, and she's a little more buttoned up now. Her clothes may not fit her all that great because she is a pretty small, slight individual, but they are all of the buttons are buttoned into the right buttonholes this time, and her hat is on top of her head, and her shoulder boards aren't falling off anymore.
I'm Trooper SJP, the game moderator, or perhaps evildoer for this game. I'm just here. I'm a Twitch affiliated streamer, and I stream story heavy games on my channel. And I'm the one who's in charge of making this wonderful group of players just a little bit miserable, just a little bit. But that's life. You can find me at Trooper SJP here on Twitch, or at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, where I don't tweet and then I do a whole bunch of random stuff. That's what I do. So let's recap what happened last time. Sorry, let me get the voice right. Last time on Night Witches, Toil and Trouble. You've got to get the old-timey radio voice. So last time we had an upcoming, there was a bunch of drama because they had done a mission the time before, and when they were flying out there, it was clear that somebody had told that they were coming and what approach they were using. They all sort of withstood terrible enemy fire, including 2 planes that were shot down. And there was a lot of rumor about there being some sort of saboteur in the unit, and no one knew who it was. In the last session, it turns out that 2 of the women who had been shot down returned from being captured by the Nazis safe. And that seemed a little bit suspicious. There was some interrogation happening off screen. And Olga Barsukova, the Politruk, who's in charge of everybody's political education, determined that the pilot of that plane was the one who had given away information, but didn't have any evidence really that the navigator was a traitor, and so executed the pilot in front of the entire unit really quickly after finding out information. Did not wait very long. So everyone watched this execution happen by firing squad, which made everyone feel great, I think.
And those that didn't watch never returned. I'm just kidding.
Well,
She made it pretty clear that everyone would be best to watch.
Yes, indeed. And the navigator of that plane, who was best friends with this traitor pilot, was brought into the unit because no one else wanted to fly with her. And that was rough. She wasn't feeling great. So here they are in the unit doing their business. They've got this general coming for that evening. So they have been all tasked to do a talent show to entertain the men of the 218th and also the general. Which there's a lot of sort of working this together. And what ends up happening is that Irina said that she wanted to do a boxing match. And Svetlana Sheremetova was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And when she acted out, our Irina, I'm just noting this just for no reason. When she acted out to sort of get that boxing match and act up like that, she got what she wanted and she added to the mission pool, and she didn't protect herself from any consequences. Not that they might show up today.
Surely there's no way that would lead to anything.
No. So the talent show, Titania got promoted. There was this amazing dance by Anastasia with the new pilot, Anasova Andreeva, playing violin in this sort of amazing performance. And at the end of it, Anastasia, who made this beautiful banner with hearts and flowers on it because Nick couldn't do it, that said, Sergeant Yu, will you marry me, Sergeant Smirnov? Because he was, it was a marriage proposal that happened. And she says yes. There's a big boxing match between Irina and her nemesis, Ludmila Ivanova, which Ludmila Ivanova got her clock cleaned. She had her clock cleaned. Yes. But they end up bonding at the end. And off they go on to this night mission, which it goes really well, that they're very, very successful, but only due to the amazing heroism of Veronica Kordina and the suspected traitor, Anasova Andreeva, who are able to sort of put themselves in the way of harm, and everybody comes back safe and sound. And yeah, and it was really beautiful. And before Veronica Kordina left, she named the last plane Death's Kiss. So all 3 planes of the section are now named. And we also knew that Lena Dozmanova would be, now Lena Popova would be coming back any day now. And that is where we left. So normally I start each session with some questions for each of the characters, but I'm not going to do that today for reasons that may become apparent later. We'll see. But I also start with a quote. And I have a quote that I'm going to just read for you all. And these are all quotes from actual people who served in the 588. And I try to pick something that might be relevant for that session. And I'm very happy with this quote. It's from Senior Sergeant Matriona Urodieva Samsonova, who was a mechanic armorer for the 588th. And this is what our senior sergeant says. I worked on planes for various air crews during the war, but the last 2 years I maintained the aircraft of Yevgeny Popova. When she trusted her life into my hands, I did everything on the earth for her, to keep her alive, to keep the aircraft in the best condition. Yevgenia trusted me so much that she didn't even put her signature on the release form. This form certified that the aircraft was in order, that the engine was in order, that the mechanic had fixed the plane for combat mission quite all right. I asked her why she didn't sign it, and she replied that she knew that her life was in my hands, and she trusted me completely. We were new acting mechanics, and the airplanes were also newly born. Because they didn't have time to completely fix the planes at the plant because of our insufficient experience, I had to work on a new plane for a long time to make it reliable. You know that your friend is going to fly in combat, and you did everything, even beyond your physical might and strength, to have that plane in perfect condition and to save the life of your aircrew. And I just wanted to give you a sense of how dedicated even the mechanic armorers were to their sisters in arms. So.
We know.
Oh yeah, you know how much they care about their sisters in arms,
Yeah, of course.
right? For mechanical reasons.
Yeah. Only mechanical reasons.
Only, yeah. Uh-huh. So it has been 2 or 3 days since that last mission, and you've been all flying every night with no sense of rest. The general has gone, but Pravda has stayed. They have remained at the base. They've been taking photographs. They've been interviewing people all across the base. They've been spending a lot of time with the 218th, the sort of dashing men in the planes of these PO2 biplanes. So you've had a little bit of a reprieve from their prying eyes. But you do know, because Svetlana Sheremetova has let you know, that today is the day that Elena Popova will be back. She will be arriving this day. Fairly quickly. It's only been just a couple of days since you heard word of the marriage. But that is the word on base. And so let us start, not on base itself, but on a train traveling all the way from Moscow, all the way down to Krakow, which is near where, Krasnodar, all the way down to Krasnodar, which is very close to where your base is, and Pashkovskaya. And this is a train that is full of people, but like many of these trains at the moment, there are compartments that give a little bit more privacy. And this is a 20-hour train ride from Moscow to Krasnodar. So it's a long, long ride. And there are 2 people who come onto this train, and they've been there for a bit. And in this private train car, which you can only get if you have good connections in the party, there are 2 young people, newlyweds, as a matter of fact. One is Alexei Popov in his dress uniform, carrying, and he's sort of put down in this compartment, a large basket, like a picnic basket full of food, and he has a heavy blanket that he puts on next to the other person, and he sits on one of the benches, and across from him, because you know if you've seen these train compartments, it's like a compartment with 2 sort of long benches facing each other, and on top there are sort of fold-out beds. And he's sitting on one side of this compartment. On the other side is Sergeant.
Lena.
Yes, is Lena. Could you describe what she looks like in this moment?
She's pretty thin. Like, she was small before, and she's significantly smaller now. And I think she just sort of, like, when she sits down, she, like, just everything is really close in. Like, her legs are together, her arms are really close by her side, and when he puts the blanket down next to her, she'll sort of, like, pick it up and put it over the top of her. And then she'll, like, just sort of stare out the window, really quietly. Yeah.
It's quiet for a while on this train car, and you can just hear the sounds of the train on the tracks, and sometimes somebody walking by or some conversations in passing before anyone says anything. And after a bit, Alexei clears his throat, and he says, I brought food. And he goes into this basket of food, and he pulls out some borscht and some sausage, and he hands them over to Lena.
I think she'll, like, eat a little bit of it, but she, it's pretty rich food.
Yeah.
And so she can't eat a whole lot of it, but she does have some. And then when she hands it, when she goes to, like, put it back into the basket, she's like, "Thank you."
I was afraid they weren't. I mean, I saw that they clearly weren't feeding you enough, so I just wanted to make sure you had something nice before we got back on base.
Thank you. You've been really kind to me. I'm in your debt.
No, you're not in my debt. I mean, I did this because your brother's my best friend, and we grew up together, and you never should have been there in the first place. You would have done it for me. Anyone would have done it.
I wouldn't have wanted you to be there.
Well, I didn't want you there. I'm sorry.
Why?
You should be flying.
I mean, I will. I mean, now. Thanks to you.
Do you remember when it was, I don't know, I was 16 or 17? You were what, 14 maybe? And I was going to go up and do the crop dusting for the farm. And you said that you wanted to fly. And your brother said no, that was ridiculous.
I was a way better pilot than he was.
You were. He was never really very good, which is probably why he's he's in the infantry right now and not a pilot.
It's for the best.
Yeah, he's having a hard time.
He is?
Yeah.
I haven't heard from them.
No, I got a letter. It's why and he didn't mention you, which was why I asked around, because he hadn't heard from you at all.
I sent them a letter.
Oh, he didn't get it. Your family didn't either. I wrote them, and no one had heard from you.
I thought they knew. I thought they were just staying away because obviously people with my condition need to be cured.
No, they didn't hear anything about it at all. If you sent a letter, it didn't go through. I mean, I didn't even know just until a couple of days ago.
I'll have to write them.
I would have come earlier if I'd known. I'm sorry you were there for so long.
It's all right. You came, and now I get to go fly. So thank you. And thank you for... I think Lena would stand up and then sit on the same bench as him. And she would take the blanket with her. And she would just be like, thank you.
And he'd be just a little bit awkward. He'd say, I've never been married before, so I don't know how this goes. I'll do my best, though.
Me either. So I guess we'll just figure it out together. If you need things, we'll just figure it out.
I don't need anything. And he just takes your hand and he goes, your hand's so thin right now.
No, I actually got more food than the other girls.
Did they give them any food at all? You just...
She would curl her fingers around his, and then she'd probably go pretty quiet.
You've lost so much weight.
It's part of the cure.
You didn't need any cure. Stupid. Lena, you're just fine. You're just fine. And he switches your hand that was in one hand to the opposite hand. And then he just sort of puts his arm around your shoulders. And he just sort of sits there a little bit with his arm around your shoulder. Just like not putting a lot of weight on you, just to make sure that it's all right before he relaxes.
I think Lena would like eventually, she would just stay there really still for a while, but the longer that they're there in silence, eventually like she might fall asleep and her head would rest on his shoulder.
And then in that train car, they travel. These two newlyweds not really knowing what will await them on the way back to the base. So let's talk about the base for a moment. In the tent, their barracks for Squadron 2, Section C, in these subsequent days, Anasova Andreeva and Veronica Cordina have been transferred out in anticipation of Lena coming back, but also Veronica Cordina has shown herself to be very capable and heroic, and so she's been moved to a new squadron. Anasova Andreeva they keep moving her around a bit. They don't let her sort of stay anywhere particularly too long. Although it seems as if Veronica and Anasova have been able to sort of stick together as a bit of a flying unit, at least for a little bit of time before they move her on again. And so 2C have been in their barracks, all 5 of them at this moment, when there's a call from outside on this one particular day. Yoo-hoo! Comes the call of the Politruck, Captain Olga Barsukova, who steps inside your tent and smiles warmly at you all. Airwomen, it is so good to see you all in such good health. What a lovely day.
Oh, what brings this unexpected honor?
Well, I have news for you all that your wayward comrade, Sergeant Popova, will be arriving today, and I thought you might all like to join me to welcome her when she arrives.
At that, Titania will definitely perk up a little more because this is something that she actually finds interesting. Yes, no, I'm certain we all would like that.
Oh, good, good, good. And make sure you look nice, because we'll have guests. She should be arriving shortly. Get yourself together.
We will, thank you for alerting.
Meet me out front by the gate that has the best optics. And she smiles at you all and leaves. And you can and you can hear her talking to someone. Yes, and then I will show you this way. And like she's clearly touring someone around as her voice trails off.
Well, she's back.
I hope she's okay.
They never are. I've seen a couple girls go through that.
Well, she's out of it now, and it's going to be up to us to make sure she feels welcome.
Maybe it won't be so bad for her, though, if she's married to Alexei.
And Anastasia, her face falls just a little bit.
Don't worry, Anastasia. There'll be another one for you. Like they say, so many fish in the sea.
Well, let's get ourselves together. It sounds like she's going to be here any minute.
She says,
Not
I would
real
like
fish. You're not going to date a fish. It's a metaphor. Just
No, but I was just thinking that it would be really nice to have fish rather than just thin soup.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Tony's going to start just, I guess, I'm going to assume she was insinuating she wants us in our dress uniforms because, you know, I feel like whatever she says, you need to go a step above that to actually meet the low bar.
Oh boy.
She's going to start putting all that together.
And then Anastasia realizes that maybe that she should also dress in her dress uniform, so she starts getting ready in her dress uniform as well. And she does her makeup.
Irina just dresses normal unless told otherwise.
Nick goes ahead and takes the cue and puts on her dress uniform, and she's got her medal and everything too.
Mm-hmm. And then Anastasia looks at Irina and she goes, Irina, she said dress nice.
I have two options. It's not like I have something that nice.
Well,
this is nice. This is I like this. I'm comfortable.
Come here. And she comes over to you, approaches you with
don't touch me with that thing.
Lipstick. No, I can make you look really nice. I'm very good at this. And she starts
curious.
And she starts making you up.
Yeah, she just kind of sits there and is like, what this feels weird. That's cold. That went in my eye.
Sorry. But you look so nice. Now, your uniform's a little dirty, but I still think, and we can maybe do something with your hair?
I don't think you have much of a choice, Irina.
She just gives her like a look like, what?
She tries to do something with your hair, but it's very frizzy, and the weather's quite humid, so there's not a lot that can be done, but she does her very best to make you look as presentable as possible, and for her that means feminine, which she's not exceedingly successful at, but you know.
I look like a drag queen.
You look like a drag queen. You're like 6 foot, right? 5'11"? Yeah. You look a little like a drag queen.
Yeah, she's tall. I would say she's over 6 foot probably.
And as a group, you all head out to the front gate where there is Captain Barsakova, and there is the Deputy Politruk, Svetlana Sheremetova, and there's Pravda with their cameras, and they're all excited and waiting for this homecoming. And it's not long before the military truck sort of pulls up, and you see Alexei and Lena, and Alexei sort of helps Lena out of the truck. And they have been traveling for 20 hours. They all look a little exhausted. Lena at this point in time has 2 levels of harm. It's not, I mean, she's stressed, underfed, and underslept, right? And Alexei himself is also a little bit underslept, and they're looking road weary. And when they come in, photos, flashbulbs go off. And Olga says, Sergeant Popova, Junior Lieutenant Popov, it is wonderful to see you lovebirds back with us here. And she like points to Pravda and she says, now, if you'll notice, this too is one of our examples of how love can bloom and flourish even in times of war. And I would assume, of course, that all of your readers would be inspired to think of how our brave comrades in arms and in the air can find love, and that they too might wish to join the services. Perhaps they might find the love of their lives. And she sort of just steps back a little bit as the members of like this man who's the photographer just keeps taking photographs of both Alexei and Lena. And then this woman, both of these two are in civilian clothing. She steps up and she says, so tell us about how you fell in love. And she puts this, it's not a microphone. It's it's attached to like a recording device. And then she just puts this in your face.
So Tanya's gonna kind of step forward and turn. Captain Barskova, I think that both of them are extremely weary and may not necessarily have the best presentation right now, and I'm sure that you would want the interview to go as wonderfully and engagingly as possible. I think perhaps the both of them may want to rest a little first.
That is an act up. That is 100% an act up. It is.
That's worse. I think Lena like gives you like the most thankful look in the world.
Oh wait, does this mean I might be able to use my new move?
Yes, you could.
Which
Ooh,
No, but no, that's for eyeballing, is it not?
no, it is.
Yep.
It is for eyeballing.
I assume you're acting up like a natural-born Soviet airwoman?
Well, anything else would just be unpatriotic.
Which means you're rolling medals.
All right. Surely this will go well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got a nice partial success.
Your regard slots right now are for your plane, correct?
I believe so, yes.
That is correct.
I don't think I ever changed that.
So you can choose one thing. You can add one to the mission pool. You can get someone to do what you want, which in this case would be to have this interview not happen right now. Or you can ensure that there are no consequences for your acting up. Which one thing would you like?
Oh no, just one.
Just one.
Oh Lord. Sorry, Lena, we need that mission pool.
No, Shell Game is like, don't save Lena. We need the mission pool. We need this to survive.
We're gonna throw into the mission pool.
I'll just add one to the mission pool. And she looks to you, and she smiles so sweetly. And Captain Barsakova says, Lieutenant, but I think capturing the lovebirds at the moment they arrive back home to the base, and of course home to where all of their comrades are, is the best thing. But now that I think about it, perhaps you're right. Perhaps we should finish this interview, in a half hour or so. And she smiles with this look that might make you nervous. And she says...
she makes me nervous normally.
Right, with any look. But
Yeah.
And she says, I think, rather than just an interview, we should... I think Pravda would appreciate if we could perhaps restage the wedding.
Oh.
And she looks around, and she goes... And she looks at all of you all, and she says, Anastasia Shermetova, you are the most photogenic. You'll be the maid of honor. And, Junior Lieutenant Popov, I'm sure you have someone from the 218th who could be your man of honor. And then she looks, Lieutenant Petrova, you also will be acceptable. And of course our medal winner, Sergeant Volkova. And then she looks at Irina.
Pass.
You can be
Swipe left.
in the background, I think. I will get a veil and, well, My understanding is that Junior Lieutenant Shermetova has some nice dresses. No, I want you all in dress uniforms. Get prepared for the wedding ceremony. This will be wonderful. We will have it in the 218th barracks. They look so much nicer. Yes.
Of course.
Get ready for the wedding.
I turn to Tanya and I'm like, shouldn't she pick her own wedding?
and
I mean, she's not trying to hide it, so Olga probably hears her say that.
And Olga just smiles at you in the sweetest, and she says, that was such an interesting display of physicality at the talent show a few nights ago, Sergeant Alberg.
Yeah, you liked it? I knocked her out.
Pravda took lots of photographs.
Awesome.
Is it?
If I can have copies, that'd be cool.
We should talk at some point in
think we should
time.
utilize all of this time to get ready, Captain, if you'll excuse us.
Of course.
Taking it.
Physically moving Irina away.
And then she's...
Nick is going to go over now that there's a little bit of space and try and, go get Lena and help.
And Captain Barsakova is going to take Alexei away because she needs to get him over to the 218th and get ready for this wedding. Leaving you all with each other.
Nick is going to be right next to Lena and just try to kind of gently put like an arm around her and just, I'm so glad you're back.
I'm really glad to be back too. I can't wait to fly again.
Lena,
From Mother Russia, of course. Thank you. She's gonna look over at Tatiana and she's gonna be like, thank you for trying to stop the interview. I'm so tired.
I'm not sure I ultimately made it that much better. How are you doing?
I'm just tired.
Titania looks at Nick. Let's get her back to the tent.
Yeah, the sooner we get this whole thing over with, the sooner rest can happen.
Agreed.
I think Lena would like stay under your arm as long as you leave it there.
Yeah, she'd probably leave it there the whole time back to the barracks, you know, trying to also make sure she's, you know, propped up if need be, because she's looking so weak right now.
Probably a good call.
In the meantime, Irina looks to Anastasia and is like, do you think they got the moment that I punched her in the face?
Maybe. You were really impressive.
Yeah, I wonder how I can get copies of the photos.
Oh, I bet you could ask those Pravda people. That would be really exciting. I wonder if you'll be in... What if they'll have your photograph in Pravda?
That would be sweet.
That would be amazing.
Actually showing us kicking butt instead of whatever, no offense, they wanted us to do with the whole dancing thing, which, by the way, was pretty good. You were pretty good.
Thanks. You were really good, too. I mean, you did the lift just perfect and you didn't drop me in anything.
I mean, all I had to do was pick you up. It wasn't hard.
Some people couldn't do it. And you had a little bit of flair, even. And you only stepped on my foot once.
True.
So that was good.
Yeah, I guess. I still think the punching was better.
Do you think Lena's okay?
I kind of see them like ahead of us walking. Probably not. I mean, look at her. And also, anytime I've ever seen people come back from that, well, they usually look worse.
I should congratulate her on marrying Alexei.
Maybe you should hold off. I think there's going to be enough congratulating and whatever that mess was. You'd think it was Olga's wedding.
Do you think Olga's married?
Do we know if Olga's married?
No one's asked.
I don't know if
never
anyone's
seen her
having
with
much
anyone.
small talk with her.
She kind of creeps me out a little.
Who do you think would marry her?
I don't know.
Probably someone scary.
Yeah. Or someone she could just boss around.
Yeah. I have to... And, like, you can see that Anastasia is, like, trying to find a moment to approach Lena, but, like, Lena is being sort of protected right now by Nick and Titania. So she's just sort of waiting as you sort of make your way back. And Lena, this base is a civilian airfield that has been converted for the use of the 218th and the 588th. And it was like a small, nice sort of civilian airfield, but there are these sort of nice barracks on one end, which is not where you're headed. You're heading, and there's a river that goes through it. Oh, actually, I can actually just show you what it looks like because we can do that here. Let me bring you over to. Let me bring you over to the base.
Our lovely drawing.
Yes.
We even drew the water flow so you could experience.
Yeah.
There's even little people.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
You guys.
The person right here who's down on their knees, is screaming out, "No!" And down here by where the 218th is, they have hammocks.
They have nice hammocks. They've got actual buildings that are made of actual materials that are rigid, that protect you in the rain. And there's a nice river going through. And downriver is where you all are in tents. Tents, sort of, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
so anything they check in the river, we get to watch.
Yeah.
As it goes past.
Yeah.
All right.
And your tents are a little ratty, and they're small, and you're all quite packed in. And you're very close to the airfield and where all the mechanics and machinery is, so it's much louder where you're at. And most of the like the medical tent and more of the things that are nicer are closer to the 218th. And outside of base, if you're walking towards Pashkovskaya, there's an old ruined church that's been bombed out. I mean, it was a beautiful church with some very, very old and beautiful stained glass windows, but it has been bombed out by the Nazis and the windows destroyed. And so when you're walking on base, sometimes you see, even though the church is quite far away, sometimes you can see little bits of blue stained glass just in the dirt as you are sort of traveling to this place. And it's a much bigger place than the last place you were stationed. And all of the higher ups are in the actual buildings that were part of the air base. But this is your home, and you're sort of moved into this tent with these cots that are all sort of slightly cramped in, and they bring you into this place.
Oh, welcome home.
Oh, wow. This is a lot better than the dugouts.
And also,
Minimally.
Well, at least we're not sleeping on the dirt as much of the dirt. At least we're not sleeping on as much of the dirt anymore. I'm really glad to see you guys.
And then Anastasia clearly cannot hold herself back anymore, and she just bounds across the tent. It's not a very far binding because they're small, and she just wraps up Lena in this bear hug. And then she's like, "I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. I was worried about you. I didn't know if you were okay or not, but I'm so glad you're back. And how are you doing?" And then she kind of puts her hands on your face and like pats them to make sure you're real. And then she like hugs you again. And then she just starts crying a little bit. And she says, "You're my best friend, and I missed you, and I'm so sorry. It was all my fault, and I didn't mean to. I didn't say anything, and I mean I said something, but I didn't say anything. I'm so sorry, and I missed you, and I'm so sorry. Do you hate me? You hate me. Don't hate me. I didn't mean to do anything."
I told her to leave you alone.
Get a word in edgewise.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
I missed you too, but this isn't your fault.
It was my fault.
No.
I think I feel like Tanya can see clearly what's coming. So, well, ladies, we only have 30 minutes before this farce of a wedding. No offense, Lynn, I just can't imagine you really want to be doing this either, though, right now.
I would really like to sleep.
I can imagine, but since the all-prying eyes of Pravda want to get a view into every crevice of what's going on out here, and with the events that happened over the past few days, let's go ahead and get ready so we can do this as promptly as possible and then get everyone back here to get some rest.
Alexi's really lucky to be marrying you. I mean, you're already married. Married to you.
Anastasia, maybe calm down a little bit, okay?
Alexei is a very good man. And he's very sweet, and he's very kind. I think I am the lucky one.
I mean, he is very handsome.
I'm sorry you didn't.
Clock's ticking. Let's go. Anastasia, do you have any more of that makeup?
I do. And she goes into her footlocker, and she sort of takes out some makeup. I can draw on your eyebrows.
Just gonna make you look like a clown. I mean, look at me.
You look
That's
lovely.
fine. That's fine. Titania looks at Lena directly into the eye, as if to say, I'm doing this for you. That's fine. Yes. Anastasia, would you please do my makeup for me?
Oh! And then Anastasia brightens up, and she sits down across from you, Titania, and like with the most attention and precision and concentration, she like goes over every feature and she works on your makeup to make you look a little bit like a movie star.
All right, I'll take that. Didn't even have to roll for that.
And she goes, Lena, I'll do your makeup as well if you want.
I don't know what I look like. I imagine Lena hasn't seen a mirror, really, yet.
You look a little... I'll just do your makeup. You look tired.
Okay. Whatever you think is best.
You'll need foundation. And she starts... The makeup on you is a little bit heavier because you're so gaunt and pale, and you have these dark circles under your eyes. And she spends some time trying to make you look not so miserable.
Good luck with that.
She can't do
draws on a smile.
It looks like a Joker a little bit.
Just a little up there.
But she applies the makeup with such care and such a light touch. I don't know if you've ever been like in a makeup chair and the person doing it is just very careful, and it's a little bit tender, and she's just a little quiet as she does it. And then when she's done, she says, "You look beautiful."
You shouldn't say that to me.
Why? But you do.
Lena's gonna like then stand up and like go over and start like putting on her like dress uniform and making sure like, because we are doing dress uniforms, we cut the wedding dress, right? So she's gonna like just really carefully, and she's gonna face away from everyone while she does it and just like make sure every button is in the right place. And as she's like just sort of button Did I mess up my makeup?
No, it looks wonderful. Nick?
My face is fine, thank you.
I can do a little bit of makeup to make you look a little bit better. You're going to be photographed.
I was already photographed plenty recently. I'm fine.
Okay. A little? Lipstick.
No.
I'll just keep it in case you change your mind.
You do that.
We can always see if Irina will punch you for a photo. Brighten up those cheeks a little bit.
Who did you punch?
And Ivanova, who's just watching this whole thing, she didn't leave with you all. She was just like, I don't know what's going on. She's and this is a woman. There's a woman in your tent that you don't know, Lena. And she's tall, she's tall like Irina, but not as tall. She's like 5'10", and she's wiry, and she just. She looks like she's probably from one of the Central Asian republics, like maybe Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, perhaps. And she just generally has a bit of a sour look on her face. And she just is watching this, and she's like, I don't have to go, right?
Well, Olga said you didn't have to go, so I guess not.
Okay. Good.
That's who I punched. Hey, you put up a good fight, though. I'll give you that.
Twice. She punched me twice.
Yeah, that's all it took.
You may still get one in one of these days.
I would have got one in, but she sucker punched me.
Yeah, that's the point.
Lena looks a little horrified that she like half laughed.
Then Ivanova looks at you and she goes, "You're that one, right? The one they're talking about?"
Probably.
That's
I'm
all
not
she
going to
says.
infect you. I'm cured.
It's that's not going to be a problem, is it?
No?
Turns to Lena. Hey, as long as you're here, we're family. Don't worry about anything.
Thanks.
Except for what we're about to have to do. We should probably head over there.
Have fun at the wedding?
I
You
just
take
walks
my
out.
place.
If it was like, nope, you won that match. This is your thing.
They just want me in the background anyway.
And you head over towards the 218th. And it's a long walk. And you move from your ratty, nasty tents, some of them having little holes in them, over to some really nice sort of metal barracks. And as you're walking towards, you pass by their hangars with their planes and the various men walking around. And people look to see you, of course, as you're walking over. And you walk down towards where you're being waved over, and there's a sort of a really nice set of barracks. And when you walk up, like the two little steps to get in, you see they have so much more space than you do. Like they have so much more space in there. They all have space to breathe. And in there, you see Olga Barsukova, Svetlana Sheremetova, and then two men who are also in Politruck uniforms. You assume that they are the Politruks of Alexei's unit. And then, of course, you have Pravda. And there are some men in this. There's like, his section is there as well. And I remember Nick, I believe. You've seen some of these fellows. There's that blonde guy with the who had the spinach in his tooth that was a real jerk. He's there. And he's dressed up, and they're all dressed up in their dress uniforms as well. And they're all sort of like, they seem a little bit surly to have to be there. They don't seem to want to be there at all. And Alexei's,
everyone was to Alexei.
yeah. And they're all like trying to be on their best behavior. And the room is they've got some lights set up. And Alexei's just sort of standing there with a person that looks as if they're like, you've got the main Politruck who's there, who seems like he's going to be officiating this ceremony. And Olga has a veil in her hand. And when she sees Lena, she says, you look wonderful. This, I think, will be perfect. She puts this veil on your head, just like clips it on. Works well enough. That'll be good for the photographs. Excellent. Stand together, you two. And Alexei comes over and stands awkwardly next to Lena.
Lena will like awkwardly stand next to him. I think she might like reach and just like hold on to his hand, but it's more of like a death grip than like a sweet sort of like, it's like kind of a dear life hanging on sort of hold.
And I was like, okay, Anastasia, I want you to stand right. And like, she starts directing you all to sort of make the perfect tableau of pretty people up front. Irina in the back. That's Olga. I think Irina is beautiful in her own way. Olga wants traditional photogenicness is what she wants. And then photographs start being taken. And the woman who's the interviewer starts saying, all right, so tell me then how you first fell in love.
We grew up together, and one day One day Alexia was supposed to take the crop duster up and take care of the fields, but I wanted to do it.
He smiles. I shouldn't have let her, but I did. I sat in the back, and she flew. She was really good.
He also... You know, when you find someone who also likes to fly and knows how important it is to take care of Mother Russia, how can you say no?
And we saw each other again at training, and then we were away from each other for quite some time. And while we were away, I realized that I loved her in the same way that I love Mother Russia with all of my heart. And so when we were stationed together again, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. And we are back from our honeymoon, and it was beautiful. We were in Moscow, and thanks to our units for letting us have the time away from the war to be married. And thank you also for letting us have a nicer ceremony, a nice ceremony here as well with our family. And one of the men from the 218th goes, just makes this snort.
Nick gives him the dirtiest look.
Irina's been making weird faces the entire time.
And the photographers are trying to like see if they can not have those faces. And like the guy who's the photographer, he's like, smile everyone, more smiles. Click, click. And Olga's not particularly happy just yet. She doesn't have everything that she wants. And she says,
Oh no.
Well, we should have one of the couple kissing. Go. And Alexi's just...
I think like Lena turns, it's, I would assume like one of the most awkward kisses in the world.
They're flashbulbs. And it's just this sort of like, what, you know, sort of, it's a very, I think a very staged kiss. And he has his hands behind his back the whole time.
I think Lena's are like just, oh, did he like, because I think she would have like kept a tight, firm grip on that one hand. Hopefully like not where the photographer could see it, because I imagine it doesn't look like it's a comfortable grip at all. I imagine like it's pretty clear that she's handling this. But she would kiss him, and then she would say, and he brought me my favorite borscht.
I did.
Just sort of like randomly.
I did. And they're like, oh, that's a good detail, says the reporter. I'm like, oh, the borscht.
It was really good borscht. She says that one to Alexei, though.
And then the reporter says...
He was like, I want some for me.
And the reporter says, well, I've been promised by your politric that I get to interview all of you. And she says, Sergei, take photographs of the happy couple. Let me start with you. And she looks at Irina.
Irina's like proud, like she's like, yeah, they picked me first. And she goes forward.
So you are, your name? And she's taking notes.
Sergeant Irina Alberg.
Why do you love Mother Russia?
It's where I've grown up. Where my father worked on the farms, where my brothers worked on the farms. I mean, we had our whole lives here.
Alberg's a Swedish name?
Yeah, that's where we were before we moved to Moscow.
Interesting. So tell me, what was the most exciting thing that's happened to you so far in the war?
I guess surviving getting shot down. I mean,
Oh,
that's probably the best thing to come back from.
how did that happen?
Well, we kind of didn't see what was coming for us, and a couple of our planes got shot down.
Hmm.
Titania's, mine, and I was able to get Lena out, but Titania wasn't able to get Sarah. I mean, we got her, but she didn't survive.
Sarah?
Yeah, she was one of our other airwomen.
I'll have to get the name. Can you say something about this Sarah that I can print?
She served Mother Russia till her death.
Oh,
We
I
hit
should.
our target. We might have gone down, but we hit our target.
And do you want to say anything about that boxing match that you had?
Yeah, I kicked her butt, or I guess punched her face.
Excellent. Lieutenant Petrova.
Yes.
So please tell me, why do you love Mother Russia?
Well, there are so many reasons. It's hard to pare them down to one, but a place where we as airwomen can have the same opportunities as the men who want to serve, which from what I understand, not many places are as advanced as we are here that allow us to have these same opportunities.
Excellent. Excellent. So, what was the most exciting thing that has happened to you in the war?
The most exciting thing has been seeing my fellow airwomen flying every night, doing what we can to protect our lands.
Excellent. Thank you. And by the way, your promotion ceremony was very inspiring, and we took quite a lot of photographs.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Now, Sergeant Volkova, we've spent quite some time together a few days ago, but let me ask you as well, why do you love Mother Russia?
It is the best country in the world. What else is there but fighting for the land that gives us so much?
And what was the most exciting thing that has happened to you in the war?
I believe we talked about this in length, but having to climb out onto the wing of a plane to drop bombs.
Yes, that was very... And you, of course, won a medal for that, did you not?
That is correct.
Yes, thank you. And then, I'm so sorry, and she steps up as Alexei and Lena are getting sort of photographed in these sort of slightly stilted ways, standing right next to each other. If you'll excuse me. Sergeant Popova, why do you love Mother Russia?
Lena has a moment where it like takes her a second to remember that that's now her name. And then she's like, how can one not love Mother Russia? It knows what is best and it gives you what you need, but no more, so that you don't become gluttonous and cruel.
Beautiful. And tell me, what is the most exciting thing that has happened to you so far in the war? Besides your marriage, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be shy.
For the audience, what's going through her mind is getting the orange with Mel. Instead, she says, I had a plane.
Oh.
It was called the Little Clipper, and taking it up for the first time and remembering, feeling the air underneath the wings, and seeing all of Russia laid out before me, and looking into the night sky and knowing that with this flight and with every other flight that I get to do, then I can make a difference, and I can make sure that more of Russia is safe. I don't think it's possible to say one night, but if I was going to say one time, it would be that first night.
Beautiful. Our readers will love this. Anastasia Shermetova, why do you love Mother Russia? And Anastasia goes, well, it's a paradise for... We have such wonderful films. Have you seen Volga Volga? We have some of the best films, some of the best music, some of the best dancers and composers. We have the best art in all of the world. And they let me fly. And we have some of the best people, too. Some of my best friends are here. And I don't think that you could be friends like this in other places. And everyone's so nice. The reporter's like, like, maybe I can do something with some of that. All right. What has been the most exciting part of the war for you? My section commander, Lieutenant Petrova, let me be her pilot one time. And she trusted me with the responsibility of doing that. And I can do things like that. And it was really nice that I could prove that I could do it. And that people let me. Because, because you get to do things in Russia. Thank you. Let's
get better than Anastasia, at least.
That's true. You were better than Anastasia. And she's like, let's get the gentleman. And she starts herding the gentleman right to the other side of the barracks, leaving you a little bit as they start doing those interviews with them, leaving you in these barracks. And if you notice as you look around that everything is nice, sort of pleasant, sort of set up, sort of clean, orderly. But one of the bunks is just a little bit farther away from the rest, sort of like just pushed out, as if sort of given a distance, is not part of the rest of the group. And when you recognize some of Alexei's things. And so it's very clear that he's not necessarily part of a family in this barracks. And after a bit, they say, well, we're going to have to move on. I think we'll take maybe some photographs of this plane. That will be wonderful. And then Olga Barsukova steps in. She goes, my darlings, all of you, thank you so much for this. This will do very well. I think that showing that joining the military is a place to find love will be something that everyone will love to know. It'll show how wholesome we are. Now, because we are still the military, you two lovebirds cannot, of course, stay together. So I'm afraid this will be the last time you'll be able to see each other for a bit. But, of course, because we have a heart here, you'll be able to have dinners or some such together if there's time. But say goodbye. We have to get these women back over to their side. We have missions coming up this evening, and we have things to do. And Lexi's like,
Thank God it's over. That's what Irene says.
For once, I agree with you.
Olga just gives you a look. come, let's go. And Alexei just sort of smiles at the camera and then gives Lena this hug. Like, and it's one of those hugs where it's kind of just the upper body hug.
It takes Lena like a second, but then like she's like, oh, okay, right, I'm supposed to hug. And she like gives him a hug back. And then she's like, thank you again. She says that like really low and quietly to him.
And he says, just let me know if you need anything.
You can do the same for me.
Right. Maybe we'll have lunch soon.
Okay.
Okay. And then he lets go and then smiles at the camera, who's like, they're taking photographs. They got some really good photographs of Lena when she was talking about flying, though, where her face was actually animated in that moment.
Yeah.
And they sent you back off to your side where you can see Pravda heading off towards the hangars where the planes are so they can take photographs of the planes. And you all are left. And of course, Olga Barsakova goes with them because she would. But Svetlana Shermetova sort of lingers a little bit. And as you're walking out of the barracks, you can hear some of the men sort of teasing Alexei a little bit. Like, oh, that's your wife, huh? Huh. Like, there's just like a little bit of teasing in the back as you are walking out. And Svetlana goes, Lieutenant Petrova, a moment?
Yes.
And just
she looks at the other gals and will be like, gesticulates that she will be joining them soon.
If you'll excuse me, I need to tell you something secret.
Of course.
And she leans in a little bit, conspiratorially.
Ooh, then I too will lean in conspiratorially.
It's my sister's name day. Tomorrow.
I don't believe I know what that means.
It's like her birthday.
And then I do know what that means, really.
Yes. I thought maybe we could plan a party for her. Or you could plan it and I could come.
I think that would be lovely. She will be, for all intents and purposes, 18?
19.
19. Okay.
19.
Of course. No, I think that would be lovely. And I'll talk to the girls. We'll put something together and you will join?
I will.
Wonderful. I have to say again, thank you so much for everything you did. I know that the circumstances were as they were, and that's a bit above what any of us can control, but she kind of looks off after where they all left, you know, even just sending extra food. Arlena was so small to begin with, I don't think she would have made it back if not for a little bit of the extra.
Sometimes people die of malnutrition, so...
Well, it is our great state's way.
Well, there's a lack of supplies because of the war. And food priorities go with the soldiers.
With the male
front.
soldiers.
Yes. Thank you for taking care of my sister.
Of course. I'm happy to do it. Well, and as we know, someone needs to.
That's true. Also, thank you for letting her be your pilot in your plane.
Oh, yes. No, she's, despite her being young and the way that she is, she is actually very skilled. And her heart's always in the right place.
I'd better get back. We have Pravda everywhere, and we can't let them see us looking anything less than perfect, so a lot of damage control to do. But thank you.
Well, thank you as well. I may need to stop by your office later to catch up on some of the aftermath of having Lena back.
If you were to stop by later, you might want to stop by around 3 or 4. Captain Barsakova will be away on touring with Pravda, and I will have some time.
That would be perfect. Any way to avoid her more than possible would be just the way that I would like it.
She loves Mother Russia.
Yes, I don't know that anyone loves Mother Russia quite as much as her. One would almost think that she's a lavender woman herself.
I don't think she loves people enough for that even to be possible.
Well, she loves herself. Although, I guess then again, going back, that's not really people, is it? She says super quietly, kind of at this point hoping that this doesn't get her in a whole bunch of trouble. But
She goes, sometimes I think she's more iron than flesh. So, yes, she's not really people. And she just says that.
right. Well, 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Perfect.
Yes. And then she just sort of straightens up again. Comrade?
Until then, comrade, and leaves.
She goes the other direction. And what are you all doing? You excellent airwomen.
I think Lena would have wanted to head to the hangars and then saw that all of Pravda and Olga were headed there, and she would have just gone back to quarters instead.
Nick, what about you? What are you up to?
What Nick wants to do versus what she does are 2 different things. She wants to go talk to Mel, but she is going to go with Lena to make sure that she gets situated and is okay back at the barracks.
Now I will tell you, she looks
Feeling guilty much, maybe?
she looks awful. I just want you to know that she's looking worse for wear. The makeup makes her look good for camera, but you can tell she's not doing particularly well. Yeah.
I think as we're walking back together, Lena would sort of ask, she would be like, so everyone seems to be doing all right.
As best as we can be. As always.
And do we still have all of our mechanics?
Yeah, and we got your plane back too. You'll be happy to know. Little Clipper's doing well. Been
Little
flying her
Clipper's back?
for past 3 or 4 missions.
Yeah.
And it's smooth as butter.
Well, of course, it's a Little Clipper.
And everybody is fine.
Well,
everybody in the mechanics pool is fine.
Oh, good. I mean, they take care of our planes, so it's good that they're all not sick and feeling good and stuff.
Yeah.
we had a mission the other night. Not the last one, but they knew we were coming. So there's still some planes out there.
Oh no.
It was ugly.
Did we lose a lot?
Not as much as we would have. I think lots of keen eyes and Volkova doing some amazing wing work.
Yeah, they gave me a medal. Can you believe it?
Yeah. You're always real good.
Somebody can, because I can't. And I mean, I was barely able to pass navigating and piloting.
Our bombs were stuck. We couldn't get them off. She climbed up on the wings of the plane and dropped them all on both sides. It was amazing.
Not a big deal.
It was pretty great. I mean,
That's-
I can't even dance with someone. I step on their toes. So balancing on a plane that's moving, give yourself more credit.
It's too bad they didn't have wing walking as a part of our training. You would have aced that.
Well, you should, maybe have Mel take a look at it, because she knows a lot about the planes, and maybe there's something that got stuck, but she could probably fix it.
Yeah.
I think they fixed it. Last run was pretty good. Went smooth.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we got our revenge.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It's nice to have you back, Lena.
It's really good to be back. I missed all of this. Would you believe I missed sleeping on the dirt?
I think I'd miss it too.
Yeah?
I'd sleep on the dirt every day if it meant that I got to fly.
I really missed flying. I want to go see Little Clipper. Once they're done with all of the photographing and the photographing and things.
You should get some sleep.
I don't want to. Will you wake me up when they go? I just want to go see Little Clipper as soon as I can.
Of course.
Thanks.
I feel
think
like
Lena
there's
would
a
then,
reach out in here. It's my feeling. I feel like there's a reach out in this conversation happening.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
This is my feeling.
I'm trying.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
Lane is reaching out to these two. I feel like you're the one who gave one of the more significant truths about yourself in this one, if somewhat obliquely in code.
Oblique truth.
Some oblique truths. People know what's going on. I feel like you should roll it.
Okay.
That's a 2d6. What do you have for your regard slots, by the way?
For Plane and Irena.
You'll get that +1 for Arena.
Yeah, I have Lena as a regard as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're
the worst.
No, we're starting this off in our
Yes.
typical dice-hating fashion.
Wait, is that our first roll today?
Yeah.
I
No,
rolled
second.
to act up
Oh.
early.
Yep.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Right.
And you had a partial success for that. I'm changing my dice color. We're going to just start this off differently. All right.
So Lena is trying to reach out in this way, but she is tired, she's exhausted, and she's just physically and emotionally frayed. And her openness doesn't really come across well enough with the amount of trauma she's been through. And maybe you can tell, but there's just a little bit of distance that sort of remains between her and the rest of you all.
I think whenever Lena's like asleep, Irena pulls out that coin again and is gonna go talk to, I think, is it Shemetova?
Yeah.
See if she can get this back to Polia's family.
Oh.
It probably won't go in my favor, but
I'm gonna hold off on that scene first because I want that to happen after the next one for reasons. Nick, do you have anything you want to do right now?
What's that? What?
Do you have anything you want to do right now?
You want to go talk
Do
to
you mean like go
somebody?
talk to Mel?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
I mean, it's your choice.
Shell is like
I mean, it's your choice. If you don't want to, if you don't have any reason to, that's fine.
No, I probably would go talk to Mel and let her know that Lena is back. And Status update.
You head over to the hangar as Pravda's on its way out, taking photographs of things, and they're going to be heading over to the men's barracks with taking more photographs. And, Olga Barsakova's, butter wouldn't melt on her. She's so cool. But you can tell has iron control over this. She wants to make sure that they only make everybody look really good in her unit. That is going to happen. And they are leaving as you sort of walk in. And as you walk in to the hangar, you've got the entire mechanics crew looking just stressed and grumbling a little bit. And it immediately hits you. This hangar has been cleaned in a way that seems inappropriate. What I mean by that is normally when you have a place where people are doing mechanical work, there's oil places. But it is very clear to you that they have been made to scrub the floor and every single moment in this place. So it looks spick, span, shiny, bright, and new in a way that took hours and hours and hours. And all of mechanic armorers are just exhausted looking. And the moment you walk in, Mel lightens up. She's like, Nick, come in. Come in.
Hey.
Can
we talk for a minute?
Yes. Not poker, I assume.
Not poker.
Okay. Privates, we have a mission tonight. Make sure everything is ready. I know that we weren't able to spend as much time on the planes as we would have liked because we had to clean everything again for inspection and for Pravda, but we've got 3 planes we've got to get ready. I'm going to talk to Sergeant Volkova. Make sure everything's ready when I get back. Volkova?
Yeah.
And she takes you out off to where sort of like the tool munition shed, and she ushers you in. Is everything okay?
Lena's back.
Oh.
And she does not look particularly well. But I thought you should know.
Thanks.
In case you wanted to go and see her. I mean, after she gets some sleep, she needs to get some sleep, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. She reaches in to her a mechanic's overall into one of the pockets, and she pulls out her hand as sort of closed, and then she opens it up, and there's like a chain, the kind of chain that you would have your dog tags on, and then there's a cog, like there's a cog on the chain, and she says, this is from Lucky 13. I notice you sometimes fly it.
Yeah.
I know that you don't have a regular plane, but this is. I took this out after your last time flying in it, and replaced it. So there's still a cog in Lucky 13, but I wanted to give you something that you could have to just think about me, and that it would be safe for you to wear. She hands you this chain.
And Nick takes it, and normally she's able to really kind of keep things together and present a very stoic front, but her eyes just start welling up
Oh,
And it's so unfair. What happened to Lena, it could have been me, it could have been you, and it's not fair. It's not fair. And I just thank you, but I just feel so bad seeing her and seeing what they did, and
I'm going to talk to her when it's safe. I don't know when that will be, because people will always be looking, and I just don't want anything to happen to her.
yeah.
But she's back.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad she is. But no, you.
I just thank you. I mean, for everything. And I just, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore.
Nick, let me say something. I want you to know that this doesn't change anything between us.
Really?
Yeah.
And Nick just starts crying again.
And she just gives you the biggest hug. And she kisses you right on the eyes. She kisses each eye. And she says, "Oh, you shouldn't be crying. I mean, if you can, if you want, but
You can't stop me.
no, I wouldn't even try. I will. You have been there for me, and I hope I've been there for you.
You have in so many ways.
I tried to find you the other day, but you had been off with Pravda, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's been a little. Things have been a little nuts.
It was the first day you didn't come into the hangar, and I missed you.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's Pravda. You're famous.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a whole other thing.
I have seen you every day for the last year. You've come and you visited me, and we've played poker. We've been to parties out by the church. You are so important to me. You're just a part of my life.
You're a part of mine. And as far as I'm concerned, it's going to stay that way.
Okay. I
know.
And she just looks around, even though you're in a shed, so there's no one there. I love you.
You want to know what's funny about that? Is that I love you too.
Okay. You know, you
like,
can
what?
you can just maybe not hold it out so long.
Oh,
So I had to. You know me.
I know. By the way, you still owe me an air race.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You're never gonna let that go, are you?
No. No. And then she just holds you tighter. I'm never going to let that go.
Well, hopefully you're not going to let a lot of things go. So.
No. And then she just holds you just a little bit and sort of sways just a little bit, almost like you're dancing.
I should probably get some rest before tonight's flight.
Right. But you're really going to leave without kissing me?
Well, of course not, but
Good.
And well, if you're gonna say it that way, maybe I should leave you wanting more.
Oh, Nick, why are you always breaking my chops all the time?
Apparently you love it.
I do. Come here.
And Nick, still tears kind of on her face, takes Mel's face in hers and gives her a kiss.
And Mel kisses her back and smiles.
And thank you again, and puts the necklace on and tucks it into her uniform.
Just know that cog was cleaned by my own hands.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope to relegate it to somebody else.
No! I wouldn't give you a dirty cog. Anyway, I'm going to see Lena, but I just wanted to talk to you first.
Yeah. I understand. And Lena's going to be very happy to see you. No matter what, I'm sure of that.
I just want to make sure she's okay. They didn't treat her too badly there. I mean, I know what it's like in those places.
Yeah, she looks rough. Really rough. I can't imagine. I don't want to. And on top of all of that, Barsakova today going on about how love is so great and wonderful, but she also just picks and chooses.
Yeah. Well, she yelled at me quite a lot for having a hangar that looks like you actually do work in it. But
oh, heaven forbid.
Yeah. Do you know, she had me and the rest of the mechanic armorers sweep the forest.
Where all the leaves are that fall off the trees.
Because the Pravda, they were going to walk that way, and it looked bad to have. It looked dirty. So.
It's outside.
I know. Look, I have to fix these planes. I've got to get them ready for tonight. I'm really behind. But.
Well, don't let me put you even more behind. And I love you.
I love you too. And now I'm thinking thoughts about behinds. Go. I have to do mechanic work.
That'll have to wait. I'll see you later. Okay. Bye.
I need to reach out from you. I need to reach out.
For the booty grab?
No. That's up to Nick.
That's what I'd be doing.
But I think you get regard, yes?
There's a lot of reaching out, okay?
Yes, reaching out.
All right.
I think you have a +1?
Yes, I do.
You may choose one. Remove harm from you and your friend, change the target and tone of a currently open regard slot, or add one to the mission pool.
I want to be rid of that harm, but I have a feeling we're going to need that mission pool.
Okay. Mission pool granted. Irina.
What's up?
It's around 3-ish. as you head over to where Svetlana Sheremetova has her office. I assume you knock?
She listens first to see if there's any conversations going on inside first.
No conversations.
Okay. Yeah, I knock then.
And then you hear come in with this sort of sense of excitement and yes, a sense of excitement.
Oh, well, I go in.
And there is Svetlana, and she's in her office, and there's a bottle of very nice vodka with 2 shot glasses and also a small plate of cheese, fresh cheese cut, sitting there. And she looks up and she sees you and she's like, "Oh, Sergeant."
Comrade, she just sits down, sees what's going on in front of her, like,
Marina, you're killing me.
what's this all about? Looks delicious.
Please have some.
No, come on, man.
She takes some. Yeah. She's like, no guilt, whatever. She goes for it. I mean, she's probably not seen like a nice charcuterie plate in forever.
And it's nice. It is nice. You don't get this kind of food.
Yeah, so she's just actually like eating. She's like, oh, and then she ends up doing more small talk, which is not Irina's style at all, and kind of forgot what she was there for, actually.
And Svetlana is pleasant, and she just keeps looking at the clock on the wall, just subtly.
I haven't had this type of cheese in forever. Where did you get this?
Oh, I got some from some of the local farmers in town. How may I help you, Sergeant?
Oh, right. Why I came here, first of all. I didn't expect this. This is pretty nice.
Oh.
Nice surprise.
Thank you.
She
Comrade?
puts her hand in her pocket and kind of like flips up a coin in the air and lands it and puts it on her hand and then hands it over to her and is like, this was Polya's. Wondering if you could maybe, I know we gave you some of the stuff from, well, Veronica did. I know I don't have the pull that Veronica has, and I'm sorry about the bottle of vodka that I threw on your wall at the previous base. But hey, it's she did good for us, and I want to make sure that makes it to her family.
Yes. One moment. And she takes the coin and she opens up a drawer and she puts it in there.
While she's not looking, she grabs them.
And then she pulls out a letter. And the letter is folded into the triangle in the way that you all fold your letters, because you don't have envelopes, right? You just fold these letters into these little triangles. And she says, I went through Polya's effects, and this was for you, from her.
For me?
Irina Allberg.
That's weird. She takes it.
I got to it before Captain Barsakova did. She hasn't seen it, so I just thought you might. I thought you might want it.
She puts like a piece of cheese in her mouth and is like leans back and opens it up.
And there's this letter, and Polya's handwriting is messy. Very blocky, like it's it doesn't flow, it doesn't look nice. It's this sort of,
she's got bad handwriting.
and Svetlana's like, time. just looking at the clock. She's like, do you want to read that in private?
Should I? Like, she read like a sentence so far. What is the first sentence?
I'm not reading it in private. It says "suka" with exclamation point, which means bitch. And she says, you are in Russian, one of the most badass of the pilots in our section. And I'm glad that I can be back in Section 2C to fly with you again. And also, Ivanova talks all this smack about you. I don't like her. She's the worst. If I have to stay in this section with her, I think I'll punch her out too. But if you can talk to Petrova and get me transferred back to your section, that would be great. Because I don't like being in 2B. So, that's it. Polya.
Yeah, she only gets through the first sentence of that there, because the rest of it's kind of emotional.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it doesn't seem like it's that private.
Oh, I just thought that maybe you needed some space outside to read that.
No, I'm good. She starts reading it, and it gets more like as she starts reading towards the end, like her face kind of like gets a little bit. You see that she is getting emotional over it. And she's like, yeah, maybe you're right. I should read this in private. Thanks for the cheese. It was good.
Comrade, I'm sorry about Polya.
I didn't know her that well, but I guess, well, we could have maybe been more friends than I thought we could have.
Well, I know you have to go.
Well, I don't have to, but I mean, I probably should finish reading this.
Right, yes. I will see you for the party.
Party?
Yes. There will be a party tomorrow.
Another one? Didn't we just have the stupid dance thing?
No.
And then a weird wedding? That was freaking weird. You have to agree.
No, that was weird. I've never been to a more awkward wedding than never mind. I could tell you about So I know you have to leave. But I will see, and it's not that kind of party. You know, don't talk to her about that later. Sometime later, you should talk to Petrova. Not now, but in a few hours.
About a party?
Yes, but not now. In a few hours.
Right. All right. See ya.
Okay, it was wonderful having you here, comrade. It's always a pleasure. I'm sorry you have to leave.
She closes the door and she's like, wonderful to have me. She's never been so nice to me.
I do want your reach out.
Okay.
I want your reach out.
You sure?
I do.
Okay, what am I rolling? Oh, it's just 2d6.
2d6,
right?
yeah.
Partial.
What would you like to remove one harm, or change the target of one of your regard slots, or add one to the mission pool?
I'll add one to the mission pool.
Oh, look at you all, feeling good about your lives.
I mean, that's worth for even though so much is gone, but that's cool. That's cool.
Have an awkward conversation with somebody, and
but you know,
you too can have some.
but there were some feels in there that you were trying to hide. You know, Polya just wanted to be back in 2C with you.
She's just reading the rest of it as she's walking.
And how are you feeling?
I think she's, ever since actually the last flight, which was when she thought for a moment that she was going to die until Veronica and them like moved Lucky 13 or not Lucky 13 84
Death's Kiss
in front of them. She kind of didn't realize like how like she knew that like, hey, death is on the line for all of us, but it was like that was like real for her. And so I think it's her connection to like life, I guess, is realizing that she has to live the life that like Polya wasn't able to.
And so
if I run into Petrova, though, I'm going to talk to her.
No, look. Petrova was heading over there.
Yep.
And was fortunate enough to be a little behind and saw you go in there, and so she decided to wait in a dark crevice where she could wait until you left again and went away.
So, Petrova is able to avoid you through hiding, and
Oh,
after she leaves, it is time for you
I
to.
think she needs like a hide check.
I'm reading a letter.
You're reading a letter. I feel
Yeah,
like she
that's
can
true,
make it
that's
through.
true.
Which gives you the moment to knock on Svetlana's door. But that will have to happen after the break.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Everyone, we're going to go on break and we'll find out what kind of conversation happens between Titania and Svetlana after the break. We'll see if maybe Irina has to come back for some reason right in the middle of their conversation. Or, I mean, who knows?
Oh yeah, if some role doesn't go well, you can bring me back in.
Okay,
I can always make
way.
an awkward place more awkward.
I will tell you what. If in the course of this moment, Titania has to make a roll and it's a fail, you're back in. Like, you
Oh, man.
are back in.
Oh.
Be cool. Be cool.
So cool. Everyone, we had a couple donations that I want to read out, and I'm so excited for them. Thank you so much. So our first donation came in earlier today from Vera Pavlova fan, who gives us our poem for today. Well, one of them actually. And this one is Sisters Reunited, Coven Reborn, and Yet Not Whole. War consumes, burning bodies, minds, and souls, reducing all to ash. Witches are not untouched. Soot of their truths and former sisters soil their clothes. Yet they persist to go, fly, bomb Nazis. Thank you, Vera Pavlova fan, for $5. Also, we have Dunya Rostova has given us a poem by Margarita Alliger. The poem is I Was for Ages Predestined, one of our great Soviet poets. And this is a short one. This is a $5 donation, and the poem is I was for ages predestined. Oh, it just moved. Here we go. I was for ages predestined to be expelled by a war from home, and with my baby through the land of the unknown woods to roam, to find where hard roads lead, to bear such pains that one can't bear, to weep with these hot drops of lead by which you had been killed, my dear. Also, we had a raid. Colonel RPG gave us a raid. I didn't see it. Thank you, Colonel RPG. Grinny Weasley gives us a donation. Our Grinny, the favorite Grinny, my favorite Grinny, gives us a donation of $5 and says, Hi, I'm Grinny, and I have very conflicted feelings. What are you doing to me, Trooper? That's right. I blame you for everything, you monster. I'm going to stew in my feelings now. Thank you for the amazing show. P.S. Olga is the worst. Please kill her with fire. I don't even know why she feels that way. That is so strange. I mean, I feel like everybody loves Olga and thinks that she's the best. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Lena adores Olga.
Right?
It's amazing.
Because she's so nice to people.
So
She
creepy.
gave her a second wedding.
Yeah. Like, only nice people give you a second wedding in front of cameras in the most awkward way possible.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Love it. And then her last donation that came in was from Will and TW, who is the most amazing keeper and carer of our wiki, which, by the way, we have a wiki, which includes lots of fan art, so you should go and see it. And I'm sure someone...
Scribes of the tabletop RPGs.
Oh, so good. And Willen says, so many feels. Lena, Nick, thanks. Thank you, everyone. So Grinny just is saying in a chat that apparently Olga Barsakova is the worst, but I think she probably means the best.
Slight spelling mistake there, autocorrect.
Yeah, it's an autocorrect. We are going to go on break. We're going to hydrate a little bit, get some water. I'm going to fix the overlay, and that is what we're going to do, and that is also what you should do. Not the fixing the overlay part. You should just, stretch your legs and get some water. We will be back in about, 8 minutes, and we will then find out whether or not Titania is able to have a private conversation with the decimated charcuterie board, or not. And then they'll be going on their their night mission for today. Okay, everyone, take care. We will see you in about 10 minutes. welcome back, everyone, to the second half, or the second last third of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, episode 8. I don't know what the title is yet. I'll figure it out. Somebody's going to tell me. So, welcome back. We've had a lot of feels. There's some popcorn having. We've had some thwarting of romance and possibility of romance. And a wedding. We had a wedding. A nice staged wedding. That everyone was really comfortable in and felt great about. Sorry. Oh, that was my GM laughter. I'm so sorry about that one.
Which direction are you from me?
I know.
You need to clear in the right direction here. I don't know which one it is, so you're all getting the clear.
I feel like the Brady Bunch now, actually, in the overlay. Could we... We're back. I want everyone to give a quick reintroduce themselves before we dive in to our last scene before their night mission, and then we'll see what happens after that. I have ideas. Okay, let's start backwards with the one who has come from a journey far away. Shell Game, tell us who you are and where we can find you and your character. Give us all the goodness.
Hello, I'm Shell Game. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram. Although really, it's really Twitter. Just look for me on Twitter. Everywhere else is a nice place that will eventually get updated at some point. And I am playing Lena Popova. Oh my gosh.
You have to get used to it.
Here's the thing. Her
Just
last
got
name
married.
just changed. I'm Lena. Hi. I've been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Some things.
Rocket.
Hello, I am Rocket Fox, and you can find me anywhere. Mostly not on Twitter. I'm there, but I don't really know how to use it very well. But I am on Instagram a lot, so that's exciting. And my character is Titania Petrova, and she really just wants Irina to leave her alone for like maybe an hour. It's all that she wants. And is so intrigued that she can eat popcorn right now. I thought she would have been full on cheese.
Damn it. I got cheese.
Some burn.
Oh, it's so good. It's cheese. So quality.
Maggie, introduce yourself. The stealer of cheese.
I was offered the cheese.
This is true.
I heard.
I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places. Same thing. And I play Irina Alberg, who is loud, boisterous, and very blunt. Yay.
And also likes cheese.
I mean, who doesn't?
Ooh, yeah, right?
That's fair. That's a true story.
This is fair. Mac.
Hey, I'm Mac Beauvais, and I also like cheese. And if you'd like to talk to me about cheese, you can do so on the social medias by finding me as @StrangeLikeThat. And I am playing Nikita Nick Volkova, who is just found love. Just found love, and might have been somebody that somebody else had been in love with at one point, maybe.
Wait, had been?
Oh, awkward.
I'm sure this will be fine.
Had been, continues to be, I don't know, drama.
And I'm Trooper SJP, the game moderator for this crew, and I in no way encourage drama, or do I? I do. I do. Let's just be fair. When we last left off at the break, Titania Petrova, Lieutenant Titania Petrova, had been hiding so as to avoid Irina Alberg so that she could get into this meeting with Svetlana Sheremetova. And we open with our Titania like just sneaking past as Irina reads this letter that has hit her a little bit harder than she might let on. This letter from Polya Makarova, who has died, who was like this sort of big, boisterous, fun type, who sort of sent her a letter saying that she wanted to come back to 2C to hang out, but is now dead. Because, hey, this is that kind of game. So, Titania, we open on you outside of the door of Senior Lieutenant.
So, she makes her way in and then knocks on the door.
Come in. Says the voice on the other end.
She thinks I'm going back in.
Yes, she does.
She opens the bed. She's like, I'm sorry. Is this a bad time?
Oh, no, come in. And what you see is this beautiful charcuterie board with only a few slices of cheese left, like 3 sad cheese slices, and a bottle of very fine vodka and 2 glasses. Someone has been eating cheese in this office, and it is not you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't interrupting.
No, you weren't. Please, come in. I was able to get some cheese from one of the local farmers. There's not much left.
Oh.
Please.
Oh, Titania will sit. Oh, thank you. She'll take some. I mean, I think the assumption for Titania is that this board had been set out for some other purpose. Because, I mean, she's in the office doing office things.
Yes, and meeting people, yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's also the dregs of the cheese. So, of course, she clearly was having some meeting with some high mucky muck, and there's some left over.
Right. So for Titania, it's like, oh, cool, man, cheese.
Oh,
For Irina, it was also, hey, cool man, cheese. I don't understand the difference of the feels here.
Eat the cheese. Cheese is good.
She's like, I'm sorry there wasn't more. Welcome in to my office.
Oh, thank you. Yes, so I wanted to talk to you about, I see, because Lena is back.
And she just starts pouring this really nice vodka and slides you some.
Oh, thank you. And so she'll take a drink and be like, oh, this is delicious. I haven't had anything like this since I was back in Leningrad.
I'm from Moscow myself.
Oh,
Cheers.
Yes, I think we visited, my parents and I visited Moscow a couple times in my younger years.
I'm so sorry, by the way, about what's happening in Leningrad. I have put out inquiries. I haven't heard anything yet, but if I can use my connections to find out anything about your family, I will let you know.
Well, thank you. That really means a lot to me. I haven't heard anything, but my parents are very, very savvy. They're very savvy. I'm sure that they are doing fine.
But let's talk about nicer things. And she gets up and she walks over to the door and she locks it. And she comes back and she sits back down.
The Rocket Fox is like,
So you wanted to talk to me about something.
Yes. I wanted to thank you again for just everything you've done for Lena and for myself and the group as a whole.
And she's just
even though we are
unbuttons her top button while you're talking.
Even though we're able to, be allowed to fly and serve the country, I'm sure that it's still not. Well, we still have a lot we have to fight against.
And then she unbuttons the next button. Of course.
Oh, snap. Yes, but I wanted to just check in and see if there was anything else, perhaps, that you thought I, as the commander of the unit, should know or do or prepare for, or if there was anything that I could do for you.
And then she unbuttons one more button. I can imagine some things.
As an aside, just a little footnote. Back in Leningrad, Titania was an artist. She was hanging out in some of these more hedonistic places.
Yes.
Which may or may not be as shocking as it might be to
other people.
Some other people.
She's quite, and sort of note, when she's doing this, she's locking you in the eyes, and she's got this very bold, sort of smoldering look, with this sort of, there's something, it's not exactly predatory, but it's certainly seductive, bold, and there's a bit of a dance, right? Like this is there's a bit of a charge, an excitement, a thrill that like we're in her office, and
That's right.
and she has this feeling of like she's very secure in herself, and when you sort of mention sort of the hedonism that in the places you've been in Leningrad, it has that. She has that vibe about her, right? She seems like a person who's been around the block way more than once, a couple of times.
Block cruiser, you know.
She's a block cruiser who is, despite all of this, is very secure and confident in herself and in this moment.
So, that being said, Titania will take a drink of this delicious vodka and kind of lean forward on the desk and just be like, oh, so tell me more about what I can do for you. Locking eyes.
And she's like, I have any number of ideas. And then she just takes off her belt and drops it.
Titania is going to crack a grin and then just like throw back and just start. It's on. It
is on. And I imagine this being, and I want you to sort of like thinking about, audience, they're having sex now. But
the camera has just faded to the window. I don't know if there's any windows. There's not. It fades to the wall.
It's inside. But to get a sense of the emotional sort of intentionality from Svetlana, she is intense. She's passionate. She's very sexual and like in terms of she's very embodied, right? She knows her body and she knows herself. And she is surprisingly not like there's no shame, there's no self-consciousness. There is a real embrace of this moment in like a very passionate and embodied and sort of present in the moment kind of way. You don't necessarily think that she's in love with you. That is not the vibe that you're getting from her, but very much like this is this very sort of intense moment of, and I would say if you really think about it, it depends on whether you want to eyeball this situation or not. That is the question I would ask you.
Wait, hang on. Is this a violation of article?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Of article, every article.
Of every article. You can eyeball her if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm doing that anyway. So.
Yeah, I was like, isn't she already doing that? Or are there blindfolds involved? Because, I'm not going to judge.
No judgment. This would be skill.
All right. Hey, why not? Let's find out what we can find out.
Yeah, you can find out. You can ask me some questions.
I guess because I do have that in eyeball.
Well, first roll your eyeball.
Okay. Can I add that modifier though?
Yes.
Sweet. Even though I'm not going to ask her if this is a.
You get one question.
Partial success. Does it seem like the kind of thing that, because in getting the sense that I'm getting, in hearing what I'm hearing, I imagine that there might be some similarities in the way that Titania and Svetlana are just about.
Yeah.
It's the really buttoned up folk,
Yes, it is. Like you're both super buttoned up, and then you take the buttons off, and then, yeah.
Titania is curious whether or not this seems like something that might be able to be an ongoing arrangement, or like if it seems like this is
a
something more like not necessarily huge emotional investment, but something that's like
am I having a one night stand or am I not?
Yeah, just
are you gonna call me later? What's gonna happen here?
What's gonna happen here?
Well, because also it's a situation where there's not you're around the same people for an extended amount of time. You're really stressed out all the time. Like everybody's real on edge, and sometimes you just need what you need, man.
Sometimes you need like a charcuterie board.
That's right. Even if there is a bunch of cheese missing.
Sometimes you need some cheese. What I would say to you is then you're in this moment with her, right? As you probably have about an hour. And what I would say to you is that there is a feeling that you have that she is cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's not invested in this at all. This is just like a moment of passion, and but that's your feeling for like the first 30 minutes. Something shifts halfway through this moment, and it's not that she becomes more vulnerable, because she's fairly in control of herself in certain ways.
That's control,
But you do get a sense in a moment, in this sort of a flash, of intense loneliness and need in her. That while generally speaking, you've got a sense of like, oh, she's been there, she's done that. This is just this moment of like passion and carnality. There's a moment when you're like, no, it is that, but you see this vulnerability in her, and you see this sort of need for connection to others, and you know it, right? You have a hook in her. Oh, is this a one-night stand? No. If you don't want it to be, it certainly isn't. But
fantastic.
You have a hook in her, is what I would say. And that is that you have a forward that you can use in any way that is involving her at this moment. This thing. She's hard, but you can see the crack, and you can see a vulnerability in her alienation, right? That she has made herself so safe that she has no connections to others. And that is something that is a hook for you.
Okay. Well, I imagine too, like Titania having come from, again, the past that she has, and being aware. I think she's real aware. She's real aware of like gaming the system a little bit more than perhaps people who have been more sheltered.
Yes.
So Titania will stay this entire hour and make full use of every moment.
And I would say this is not like, oh, I love you. It's not that moment. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna touch your hand in that beautiful soft focus lens way. It is not that. There's like moving charcuterie boards off the desk situations, and
it's throwing back the vodka, then throwing it on the floor.
That's right. And it's this, it's that kind of a real sense of need and release, and in a way, it's its own very beautiful moment, but in a very different kind of a way.
Titania approves. 2 thumbs up.
And then there's like rebuttoning, like all of the rebuttoning that happens, and then like making sure the uniform.
Cigarettes.
Well, there are cigarettes to smoke.
That's true.
Oh yes. And when reclothing happens, she looks at you and she just makes sure your uniform is perfect, that everything is as it should be.
And I'm gonna reach. I was still wearing makeup at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and reach over and kind of like wipe off. there might be a little bit of a smudge. I'm just gonna kind of wipe that off her face.
She's like, oh, thank you. I have a question. Do you want anything from this? Are you acting up at all?
I feel like China got what you wanted.
Snap. That's fair. Well, because if you do, here's a moment for your act up if there's something you want.
Nah, we'll save that.
You're good. You're like, I'm good. And then once everything has been rearranged and there's no makeup anywhere, uniforms are still the way they need to be, she walks over and she unlocks the door.
Well, I thank you for seeing me, and I hope that I can stop in again sometime.
Comrade, I will. Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. And yes, I will plan for the party tomorrow night, and I will send word when it's going to be. And I look forward to seeing you.
And I you, comrade. And she just gives you this wink.
Titania smiles, and then leaves.
And as you're walking out, she goes, Leningrad.
Titania kind of chuckles.
And the night falls, and it is time for you all to go up in the air, to face danger and death.
All right. So, ladies, tonight we are going to, hang on, let me make this bigger, my eyes.
It has to be small on my screen. So sad.
I'm just like, I have a bit of headache, so everything's like real tiny right now. What we are doing tonight is, okay, so we're going to do C, since we have some mission pools saved up. Trevor, this is to you. In case there's, I'm going to try and set this up in my best way, but in case there's other info you want to put out there. Real quick, is that, when it says it's our own, is it our own that's there? Where we are our own, just like in that it's one that we use. It's not on our base.
Yeah. So this is what happens. Are you ready?
Maybe.
Let me tell you. Now, we've got people who are still injured, right? You're all a little bit like the worse for wear, and you're getting ready for your mission. And there's some other mission that you are tasked to do. You're supposed to go and you have your normal mission that you're sort of set up for, right? And you're getting ready for it. And before you can get on this mission that is not C, it is something else, your squadron leader rushes in, and she's clearly in a bit of a panic. And she says, "Women, there's an emergency. We need you in the air now."
Without further hesitations, Rena like shoves the letter in the spot and heads out.
She says, "It's the 218th.
What happened?"
Their auxiliary airfield, it's being overrun by the Nazis, and you have to go out there and bomb it."
Let's go. That is the mission that we are doing. So that being said, this would be much quicker in real time. I'm just letting everyone know that. So, see, Arena, you are going to be flying 42. Let's move you over here. I need to put Lena, I need to put you back on the board.
She's in the bottom. I think she's in the...
I see it. I can't click it, though.
You have to just write a new Lena.
I'll do that. Oh, that's not right. Lena, you're going to be the navigator for Irina in the 42.
Oh, Clipper?
That's right. And then, over here.
I hope your husband's okay.
Oh, snap.
Says Ivanova, because Ivanova's kind of a jerk. She's like, because he's in the 218th, right?
Yeah.
Who did somebody have regard for the 84, or was that?
I don't think anyone does right now.
Okay. I am going to be flying the 13. Ivanova is, Nick, remind me, you are more of your stats are navigating. Okay. Ivanova's going to fly the 84. You are going to navigate for the 84, and Anastasia will navigate for me.
Oh, thanks. You're my best friend. Lena, you're my best friend too.
Just make sure we get where we need to go. All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Because we need to head out yesterday.
Lena is just putting on her hat. She's ready to head out the door.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it.
Who's the lead pilot? Who's the lead navigator? And who is on Vedo Maya?
All right. Lead pilot is going to be, I'm going to do it me. Lead navigator is going to be Lena. Vedo Maya is going to be Nick.
And also Irina.
And also Irina.
Everybody else gets to be. Lead pilot is...
And everyone else can just hang out. Myself.
Okay. All right. So as the night falls and you hustle out to your planes, because basically, the 218th they were doing their missions somewhere else, and as they were flying in, the Germans were basically overrunning their field and were about to land planes, and so there's sort of chaos over in the 218th, and they're in big trouble. And if you can maybe go and save their lives, perhaps that would be great. So when you're there, there's Mel and the mechanic armorers sort of madly rushing to attach the bombs to the planes, and they didn't have as much time as they would have liked, and so they're like working really hard, and you don't even barely have time to there's no time to say anything.
I think Lena like just looks at Mel, but then she like sort of panics, and so then she looks at every single other mechanic for as much as like as close to the same amount of time as she can possibly think that she looked at Mel. And then she like climbs into the little clipper, realizes that she forgot to kiss the insignia that was, so she like climbs back out of the little clipper and goes and kisses it, and then climbs back into the little clipper.
This is Manova. We don't have all day.
She's like, okay, I'm here. No, sorry, for luck.
And I will say, when you kiss it, you notice like just like in the corner a little lipstick kiss, but it's not lipstick, it's black motor oil, just in the corner of the tail, and you don't know what that's about, but it's there.
Oh! Before we actually go up,
yeah.
As we're going to, I just now remember this. As we're going to get into all of our planes, I shared that I had a premonition. Again, it happened again. I wasn't expecting it, but and I actually hadn't thought about it until I went into the hangar because everything was so crazy during the day. But upon going into the hangar and seeing the planes, it actually brought it back. This premonition that I had, but I saw like a plane, and one of the airwomen, I couldn't really recognize who it was sitting on top, and there was like a ball of fire around it, but not in a destructive way. Like the plane and the airwomen were fine, but nobody was flying it. I don't really know what that means, but.
And Anastasia goes, well, I don't think that's about marriage.
I think that would be a very strange metaphor for marriage.
I hope not everything is about marriage.
Well, these planes, they're not going to fly themselves.
Oh.
Let's go.
We should go.
Let's keep our boys safe.
And you take off into the air, and it's a little bit earlier than normal. And so it's not as dark as you'd like, which means you're a little bit more exposed and visible as you make your way towards the auxiliary airfield where the 218th is flying out of. Well, now that's being overrun by the Nazis, an ambush for them. And if you can come in and bomb that airfield, then the Nazis won't be able to land and be just a mere few miles from you all in your home base. So I need Lena. Welcome back. I need a navigation, a wayfinding roll from you.
One thing also to note, not to add any pressure,
please,
but just so everyone knows the. Should I not?
No. Say it.
So there is a consequence if there's a roll from 7 to 9. That the consequence is between 7 and 9 always going to be enemy fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. No pressure. That's fine. This is fine. I'm not worried.
I believe in you.
Do I get a +2 modifier though because I am with Irena and in Little Clipper?
Only +1.
Oh.
Regard doesn't stack. But you do get a +1.
Yay! Take what I could get. Cross your fingers, folks.
Oh!
Nice.
So, here's the thing.
Woo.
She's been missing out on flying.
And she's back in Little Clipper. And she's with Irena, who she has the greatest of admiration for.
It is not dark enough to do this mission. Like, it is getting dark, but it's not dark enough, which means you are visible. And you need to navigate them to this auxiliary airfield in a way that will not get you shot up by all of these enemies who are waiting, right? Like, there are enemy planes trying to land. There's an enemy army marching in who's like trying to take this space. You can hear gunfire below. And if you are too obvious, if you don't maneuver them right, if you don't navigate right, you will all get shot up. Tell me how you're able to get the section to the airfield in the midst of all of these enemy aircraft and this enemy army? How do you do it?
Well, that first moment up in the air, and I can just feel like the cold, icy air sort of like hitting my face as we take off. And for that moment, everything that's sort of been like fogging my brain and all of these cobwebs just sort of clear. And I can feel my shoulders drop. And when I look down at the map, I know exactly what I'm looking at. I know that if we duck around behind that hill, based on where those clouds are at, we're going to be able to come up right into the clouds, and we can coast along in the clouds until we get to the airfield. So not only will they not particularly see us taking off, but in case they had like someone on the ground, but then they're not going to be able to see us coming because we're going to come up on their flank in these clouds.
And out of nowhere, like magic, like witchcraft, your planes at the last second, right over this airfield, descend from the clouds, ready to drop your bombs. Titania, I need an attack roll from you.
Alrighty.
That will be guts.
Then I get a 1 for being in 13.
You do?
Okie dokie.
Uh-huh.
What? A 13.
One negative consequence, my friend. What would you like? The damage to the target is not significant and it's your fault. Trigger enemy fire, which is my favorite.
No.
A plane in your section is damaged, and I get to pick which one. Or you and your fellow airwoman are marked.
Well, I won't be doing that. We can't take harm. Harm's not on the table.
Nope.
Oh, come on, man.
Marks are on the table, also having a damaged plane. Or enemy flak.
Enemy flag is
Bad.
worse, though.
It's really bad.
Oh, God. Oh, we'll take a damaged plane.
Okay. Let me
It's our
see.
airfield. We need to clear it.
All right. Let's see. Pardon me, audience. I need to see. We're going to have to go to a different screen for the moment. I need to see who's in which plane.
Sorry, friends.
No, I need to see this. This is important. Let's see.
And by the way, Rockette, you drew that plane picture.
I did.
Yes, you did.
Who didn't know that?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So good.
Yeah. So I need.
Oh,
Plotting
Irina.
face.
sorry.
Irina.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Oh, no.
You're
No,
flying.
little Clipper.
Oh yeah, you're flying. And
Had to eat that cheese.
you also.
Let me leave pilot because I ate your cheese.
Oh.
Look, I would have preferred the damage going to me because then I'd be responsible for it.
So, this is what's happening. You're flying in, and I want you to tell me, Titania, how you drop these bombs, how you're able to take out this enemy, what had been your own airfield, how you're able to stop it that the Nazis can take it and save your fellow airmen of the 218th.
So as Lena's awesome navigating pulled us in the clouds, we once we get there, we kind of dip down out of it, and they are all over the place. And it's not like our guys aren't, trying to fight back and hold them off and stuff. I mean, we're not an infantry unit, so it's not quite the same. But there's a lot of movement going on, and so there's a lot of people moving around. But we can see kind of where the bulk of the Nazis are, because they haven't had time to totally disperse.
Yep.
So there's a big pile of them, like ants. And so we go and I take us right over to kind of where they seem to be coming out from the trees, like right there. And so we drop the bombs, and then it kind of catches on some dry grass and like some, just foliage right by the edge. So it starts kind of spreading around that way.
And it catches fire. And you can see the forest start to burn. And then there is an explosion as the munition shed goes up. And there's a fireball that hits the sky. Irina, you are all flying. All of you are flying. Everything is fine. The mission is perfect. It's going beautifully. And then your plane is rocked by this fireball as the mission shed goes up. And it's almost as if you are encased in fire. You're not, but it feels like it. You feel like you can feel the fire burning off your eyebrows. It feels so close. And you realize as your plane shakes, like a really good shake, your throttle doesn't work. Your yoke, you've lost control of this plane, which is not the worst because Lena can do it. She has got a yoke back in her part. But as you look up, you see the upper wing start to separate. It will, like, your plane has been damaged. It needs to be...
I guess, like, if I can, she basically calls out, Lena, my yoke's not working. You're going to have to take over. And she just gets up and she's going to stand up and she's going to try to, like, Hulk hold those things together as best she can.
You climb up, right, on top of this plane and you hold the two ends of the upper wing together with all of your strength. And you are a strong, strong woman. Can you attempt fate for me?
Oh, boy.
You're the strongest around.
That's guts.
This isn't guts. This is luck.
No, this is guts.
Oh, this is guts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the gutsiest of anything ever to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I get a +1 because Lena's in there
Yes,
with me?
you do. Yes, you do.
Sweet. I trust that she will fly the plane.
Mm-hmm.
That means I get a 4.
Mm-hmm. Would you? Yes.
Can we use a point
Yes.
for?
Oh yeah, we have 3.
Yes.
You have 3. You can use.
Put it all there.
You can put it all there, or you can take what you like.
I mean, if you
Should
put
we?
it all there, then that gets us out of danger of enemy fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think? Okay.
You can actually just leave it at the partial if you like.
But then we get enemy
Look at-
fire, right?
No,
And that was just for the wayfinding roll.
this is
Oh,
is just tempting fate.
Never mind then.
So don't use it.
No, you can't. I mean, we've made it through
Mm-hmm.
most of the dangerous.
The only thing that's going to happen is that Lena's going to have to roll to wheels down that plane.
Yeah.
And
to
I
fly.
have 2 harm right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right. We have 3 pool though, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah. We got
But you need all 3 to bring that up to a 10, and then you
Yeah.
have none left.
Maybe not, and then leave it for Lena.
Maybe. So I'm going to give you a.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you
Go ahead.
a bargain,
Give me
my
what you
friend.
got.
I will give it to you. How much harm do you have right now?
I get a +4 to that, man. How much harm do I have?
Yep.
1.
Um,
Am I gonna get burned?
I would like you can do this. You can hold this plane together so that you do not crash. You can do this moment, but I need you to take harm. I need you to get some burning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah? Did
Yeah.
you take it?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna put you
How
at
much harm?
Such a good question. I feel like either 1 or 2. What is more exciting? I'm gonna say 1 for now, but that 1 is gonna come from burns, and you have to decide how you want that to sort of configure.
Okay.
And your pilot's helmet flies off, and your frizzy hair is flowing in the wind as this fire sort of like as you like fly through this fireball, you holding on just like both of the edges of this wing. And Lena, you have to fly little Clipper and land her
While witnessing this.
while she is upon the top of this plane holding it together.
Oh, Irina's probably kind of screaming a little, and she's like,
Yeah. and she's screaming as fires everywhere. I need you to land this plane.
Okie dokie.
That, my friend, is a skill roll. Because wills down is skill.
Thank goodness for that. +1 modifier because little clipper.
Yep.
No, I think actually this would be +1 modifier because of Irina, because she is literally holding our plane together right now.
This girl is on fire.
Oh goodness, I'm a little scared. Oh,
nice.
Hey.
All right.
Maybe I should have taken it.
I know. I'm like, oh.
Tell me how you do it.
Huh? So I think like there's this moment of, oh my God. Like she can see Irina holding down the plane. There's fire just everywhere. But the feeling she can't get rid of is that right now she's in the air. And this is 1,000 times better than anything else. And so it could be, literally she could be on fire right now, and it wouldn't dissuade her from the intense focus and this like feeling of just being free. And so when she takes a hold of the yoke, there's that moment of adrenaline, but then everything just sort of seems to slow down and go super still. And she turns back into the clouds. And then by the time she pops out of the clouds, like it's just the most gentle, like set down of little clipper that she could possibly manage, with it being damaged.
And as you land, I mean, everybody's on the airfield, right? This is your airfield, not theirs. You bombed theirs. There are no Nazis going to land on that airfield. And also you killed a bunch of Nazis with your bombs in the process. And as you land, everybody's there, and they see you land so gently with Irina on top of the plane, just holding the upper wing together. And people sort of cheer, like they're like, what? Like it is this sort of amazing moment. And the other two planes come in and land, the section lands. And people are so excited, and they come to crowd and like help you off of this plane. And there's this general sense of excitement. Except, I mean, everyone is smiling, except someone who's not smiling. Do you remember, it seemed like ages ago when you had this amazing wedding at the 218th? Remember that really staged fun wedding?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget? It was so fun.
So fun. And remember when you got to see the Politruck and Deputy Politruck of the 218th?
Yeah.
They're at the field, your field, as is Olga Barsukova and also Svetlana Sheremetova. And everyone is cheering and celebrating the successful mission. But they all have these stone faces. And Svetlana looks a little freaked out.
Oh, no.
And as you all get out of your planes, and I will say, Olga Barsukova does not look happy. She looks less pleased. And where's my list?
We thought she was creepy when she was happy.
Yeah, no, she's not feeling good. And as you all step out,
my hands are burning. I'm still kind of just standing there, like looking at my hands.
I imagine her saying it just like that. My hands are burning.
that does seem very her. And as you all walk off and somebody comes in and like helps smother Irina to help her, right? Because she's in this moment. The man, this captain, he steps forward and he looks at you, this whole section, with this really sort of intense look. And his eyes go from each one of you. Before I say what he says, how are you all feeling?
Well, I don't know now.
Crazy anxious now.
Yeah.
I think Elena was like, she felt great when she was in the air, and after she landed, and then all of a sudden everybody was like, you were talking about them like touching and like carrying her and stuff, like she got insanely uncomfortable. So she is now dripping in sweat. And she's just standing there just like wishing she was back up in the air.
And
go ahead. A lot of adrenaline going.
I was going to say the same thing. I think Arena's adrenaline is just like at its peak, and her hands are just like throbbing in pain, and like her skin is like melting away, and she's just like,
And
not paying attention to all the other shit that's going on.
this captain has some kind of big roll of paper under his arm. And he goes, Junior Lieutenant Anastasia Shermetova, step forward. And she does. And he unfurls the banner that says, Sergeant Yu, will you marry me? Sergeant Smirnoff. And he says, I was told that you drew this banner. Is that correct, Comrade Junior Lieutenant? And she immediately looks at Titania. She goes, yes. And he
Titania
says,
looks back at her like, I will try to protect you as much as I can.
and he says, interesting. And he makes a gesture, and a plane, one of these PO2s, not one of yours, is sort of rolled forward. And on it are hearts and flowers painted
Oh no.
in the exact same style as the hearts and flowers on that banner. And he says, in training, someone engaged in sabotage and vandalized the planes of the 218th. We didn't know who it was until the talent show. These hearts and flowers look awfully familiar, don't they, Junior Lieutenant Sheremetova? And she just doesn't quite know what to do.
Sir, Titania will speak up. Sir, I would like to point out that I've seen many hearts and flowers drawn in this particular style. In fact, I could probably recreate that for you right now.
He looks at you. Could you? I find that highly unlikely.
I could, and I will if you would like. Artist background, yeah.
Act up.
Oh, it's so good. I hope you roll successfully. We still have points. You can.
And I'm going to give you a +1 because you have an artist background.
That's right.
So
I was trying to figure out a way to do an eyeball.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Skill?
is this are you
this is you are
doing Article 58?
so Mel is going to roll out like one of the planes over and like bring you paint so that you can attempt to do this.
All right. I don't even begin to know which is this
Guts.
skill.
Yeah,
Guts?
is it skill?
Guts.
Oh, it's guts.
Because you're tempting fate. Now, do you have a means to tempt fate with something else? Is that you?
Let's take a little look. Let's take a look.
I feel like you might. Somebody does. Somebody has a way to tempt fate. Oh no, somebody has a way to act up.
I have a way to tempt fate. I can do it with my medals.
That is correct.
Yeah, no, my political thought is for eyeballing.
Yep. Go ahead, my friend. Tempt that fate.
I assume I don't outrank this person.
Nope.
Well, here we go. I'm sure this will go well.
You can eyeball first if you want. Oh, partial success. All right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's partial.
Okay.
How are we? We do have mission pool. This could be a success.
It could be.
Ladies,
Go for it. Take it.
Yeah.
All right.
Take all three.
You take
it's a
all three.
success. Here we go.
So Anastasia has this sort of very flowery, cartoony sort of style. You've seen it before. You've seen it a lot. You've seen it all over magazines that she owns. You've seen it on
I'm
the plane.
sure she's not shy with it.
She is not. I want you to tell me now, which of the 3 planes do you add these hearts and flowers to from your section?
I'm going to add it to 13.
Okay. So your own
Because
plane.
we were just on it. It was a fun.
Okay.
I don't want to say it was a fun flight, but it went well. So I take the paint and I go to 13, and I don't really. I like kind of looked at. And I'm imagining they brought the thing over so I can at least look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really need to look too much at it to know the style. I really just. as someone who was raised around a painter, as someone who naturally had a kinship toward art, she doodled a lot when she was younger and in school, like many who are into art do. So she takes herself back to the days of being young, very, very, very young, and the sorts of things that one draws when they're but a child, and in the style that someone might draw.
Draws a penis and
No, that would be Arena.
Well, hey man, I'm imagining these flowers are just like, like what I would picture being on like a 5th grade notebook, I mean, just like, so she starts doing that. And like she initially had gone to university in art. So she had to, as part of her art school, copy the master's works, stuff like that. That's part of what one has to do. And this,
it's not a master.
It's much easier to copy the style than that of like Rembrandt or something. So she puts the paints on there, and then she after she's done, very deliberately puts the brush back in the paint can and stares the guy in the eyes. Just puts it in there and puts it on the ground.
And Olga Barsukova steps forward and says, "Comrade Captain, as you can see, any number of people could have made this painting. This is an expert copy, but Junior Lieutenant Shemetova, you swear it was you who did this banner?" She's like, "Yes." "So, that could have been anyone who did it. There's no guarantee that was even our women who did it. I'm afraid this is not compelling evidence for you to push for any sort of punishment." And he says, "You're not advocating for her because she's the sister of the deputy politruk, are you? That would be nepotism and against our articles."
Captain, as someone who is not in any place to try and protect her because she is the sister of anyone, but having worked alongside her, I can tell you that she has been a brilliant airwoman. She has helped us in many successful flights and done her duty to Mother Russia. And certainly, I don't think that anyone would really want to put unjust blame on such a patriotic woman.
I'm totally not sleeping with her sister. It's fine.
I would never do something like that. That's someone else.
And like Anastasia's just like shaking a little bit, and she just kind of like steps a little bit closer to Lena because like she's just a little nervous. And then she steps a little bit closer to Arena. She's trying to like find a place.
Arena's hands are wrapped
because she's been wrapped.
Lena gets super uncomfortable when like
there's just like the corner of uncomfortableness, and there's Titania just standing in front of her section leading it. And Captain Barsukova says, "The lieutenant here makes a good point. Also, if you'll forgive me, Captain, I think that you might do best taking care of the injured and of your men of the 218th. Our airwomen here did a brilliant job saving all of your airmen's lives. I would imagine that they need you right now. I would think." And he looks amongst all of you. He says, "Well, I suppose there's no evidence right now. Not conclusively." And he just steps towards Anastasia. And as he steps towards her, you can see Svetlana just like take one step. And then you just notice Olga just puts her hand out and stops Svetlana.
Step in front of Anastasia.
I was going to say, I'm going to step in his way, man. He's not doing this.
He notices all of you. Like, there's this just like you two move in front of her. Olga stops from Svetlana from moving at all. And he stops. And he says, "Fine. We don't believe in family connections in Mother Russia."
Neither do we.
That is all. There was brilliance happening tonight, and I need to make sure that Pravda knows about who did it. And he walks off angry.
Good.
And Captain Barsukova turns and says, Lieutenant Petrova.
Yes.
And then she just looks at Irina and walks up to you. Alberg,
Yes, ma'am.
show me your hands.
She holds out her hands that are wrapped.
She looks at them, and then she takes your hands in hers, and she inspects them a little bit. She pokes just a little bit. I imagine that hurts terribly.
She doesn't say anything because she's afraid that she's going to hurt her more.
I will be putting you personally in for a medal for your bravery in this mission.
A look of relief is on her face because she doesn't hide her emotions so well.
Debriefing will happen later. You're all dismissed. And she walks off, and Svetlana looks like she might say something, but doesn't, and just turns and follows the Pala truck. And you're left on the field.
I nudge Anastasia and it's like, looks like you got away with it. Me, not so much.
Oh. And she says, we're family.
Not according to her. Or him. Sorry.
No, but we're closer than family. I think that counts.
And she says, that guy's a poopy head.
Yeah, a poopy head. That's the words that I would use. Yep. Fuck, I need vodka. My hands hurt.
Yeah, let's get out of here. It's been a long night.
And you move off of the field.
May I, before we...
Please.
Lena would go back to the little clipper and tuck a little piece of paper in where she thinks Mel would find it. And then she would go off with everybody. But she would disguise it by like running back to the little clipper and like kissing the little side of it. And then making it look like she's totally not doing anything or leaving any notes or anything like that. She would just like, and then she would run and catch up with everybody.
Very subtle.
Super subtle. Yeah, because that's what Lena is. Subtle.
And that, my friends, is when we're going to end our session for today. With some brilliant flying, some heroics, some bravery, and you saved Anastasia because she was going to be in some serious trouble had you not rolled well, my friends.
I was going to step in and say I did it.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
I honestly, that thought crossed my mind too. It's about to become like I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus. Oh.
Lena would have jumped up.
Oh. You all.
It was kind of Irina's idea, so I think that's why she's done it.
Well, that's right. It was your idea. And you ate my cheese. I shouldn't jump over.
I really felt responsible because she was like, we gotta do this mission. Specifically say, let's graffiti the planes, but she was the one that's like,
well, you saved Anastasia this time.
I had to.
You're a good leader.
Keep sleeping with her sister.
Okay, that's also. I just thought since you were a good leader.
I don't know. Nothing's gonna ruin a relationship faster.
Everyone, because of that particular mission, which was difficult, you all advance.
yay!
You all get one more advance. We have one donation that has come in from Deceptive Mirror, who is one of my fellow mods, and who I think also really loves Olga Barsukova. I just feel like the entire chat loves Olga. Every time I look at chat, they're like, we love her. She's the best.
You've got some good censoring going on there.
And she donated $10, and she says, completely classless comment, and classless, by the way, is I think appropriate because this is about the Soviet Union, where, we don't have class. So her completely classless comment in 3, 2, 1, bow chicka bow wow. Seriously amazing transition to sobbing to charcuterie. You all amaze me. I love this show, even if you all keep stomping on my feelings. But we stomp on the feelings with love, is what I like to think.
Roller coaster.
That's how we celebrate. We throw the feelings on the ground and then we dance on top of them.
But like with a dance, like you know, the kind of kicking of the leg dances. So with some good Russian dance kicking feelings. Ooh, now I really want like a GIF of somebody dance kicking feelings in a Ukrainian style. We'll get
that
it.
Can happen.
Somebody, we've got some cans in the chat. So anyone have some River Love dance stomping or some Ukraine kick dancing stomping in a GIF form? I'm all about it. So this was our episode 8, which maybe we could call it Hearts and Flowers. I'll think about it. We'll get a good title.
I was thinking that too, actually.
Yeah.
Although somebody in the chat did say the cheese does not stand alone. The biggest guest star in this entire episode.
It's true. Hey, you're in war. You don't have a lot of stuff. Cheese is delicious.
Cheese is always delicious. I don't have to be in war for that.
Now I want cheese. Oh, y'all, we're gonna go. I want to thank everyone for being here. All of you in the audience are wonderful. Thank you for being here every week with us in a show that means a lot to me, with a cast that means a lot to me. And I love everything that we're doing, and I love all the support that you all bring to us. I love the fan art. I love all of your comments. Thank you so much. Also, apparently, Alyssa Faye thinks Hearts and Flowers is lewd. Which means it's probably the best title. And I would like everyone to introduce themselves to sign off. And let's start with Mac.
Hey guys, again, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me on the internets as at Strange Like That and in your nightmares.
Yes. Maggie.
Hey, I'm like, I think. Wait, is it this way?
No, I missed. You're this here. There you are. You're there.
I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of tabletop RPG stuff, so come check it out. Thank you guys so much. This is really fun, and I don't know. I love seeing the progression of all the characters. It's been really good.
So good. Oh my gosh. Rocket Fox.
I promise I'm not a jerk in real life.
Oh, no, she's not. But wait. Rocket, before you introduce yourself, for the record, I'm the GM. I get to say this.
But I will steal your cheese.
But you didn't steal anyone's.
If we're in the same place, same time, I will give you my cheese.
But you didn't steal anyone's girlfriend, so.
Oh.
Steal is a strong word.
It
is a very strong word.
It is a very strong word. Sorry, it was just an easy burn. It was an easy burn. And also, Rena's not really a jerk. She's just a little blunt. That's all.
Kind of a jerk, I guess. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't intend it to be bad.
No, she's not
necessarily.
mean.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah. Rocket, introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Rocket Fox, and I am gamer, cosplayer, storyteller, artist. And I did see on the chat earlier some people asking about this latest premonition piece, it being posted elsewhere. So I will actually tonight post it on Instagram if anybody wants to see it again, or I think you can download stuff off there. I don't know how that works, but feel free. If anybody wants it, it's yours.
Would you post the first one too, the swans?
Yeah. I'll post it all. What's mine is yours. We're in Mother Russia. Yeah, so if you want to check that out, I'll have that up tonight at Rocket Fox on Instagram. Put it up on the face. I'll put it all over the place. It'll be fine. And then also, I help run a nonprofit called Super Heroines, Etc. Our mission is to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerds. So you can check that out too. And I second what everyone's been saying. This is a fantastic group, and it's been an awesome game, and I am so thrilled to be a part of it.
And last but not least, welcome back after a sojourn of a few weeks. Shell Game, back to all of the love and joy.
Hello. I am Shell Game. That's me. You can find me on the Twitches and the Twitters and the Instagrams, but just really look at Twitter because everything else isn't up to date. If if you're in Seattle, you can catch me and you're like, I want to do something else tonight. Maybe I'll go see more improv. You can go to Unexpected Productions down in the Pike Place Market, and I will be performing in the 8:30 and then the 10:30 show there tonight.
Awesome.
Otherwise, thank you. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, woo, do. Anyway, you can also catch me here at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in Worlds Beyond, or most Thursdays at the 8:30 show at Unexpected Productions, and some, Friday, Saturday shows, depending on when I've got availability. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
And I'm Trooper SJP, the giver of cheese, the threatener of Anastasia, and the shipper in chief and sinker. I don't know. I do all this stuff. You can find me at
in chief.
Shipper, sort of like the shipbuilder and ship destroyer in chief. I don't know.
The shipper in cheese.
The shipper in cheese. And you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch and Academic Foxhole on Twitter. And that is us, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here. Everyone has been amazing and awesome. Please come back on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific for Inklings, which is our art show, and then hang out 5 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday for Wind Down with our chief, and 7 p.m. On Wednesday for Worlds Beyond, which also has Shell Game in it. And then I will see you all next Saturday for Night Witches with this amazing crew. Thank you, everybody. Take care and fly right.